Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the Bombay bad boy, Big Rig Nick U-Turn.
Glad to be here after the wonderful holiday weekend we had, and me and Jeff are going to recap about all the fun shit we did. So stay tuned.
Yeah, folks, it was Dragon Con. It was great. We met some fans. We met some celebrities. We heard some iconic stories that you're going to hear tonight just a smidge about. But, folks, we're also joined tonight by replacement Kendo himself, all the way, well, formerly from the Place to Be Reviews, but now you have to fill in the name of the new channel because I'm drawing a blank, but say hello to Etep Wakulian.
From Wrestling with Horror. Hello, man. It's great to be back on the show, Jeff, Nick. Hello, bro. Chat, welcome, you beautiful people. It is the kickoff of the NFL season. I am rocking the I got my Lions, we got the Barry Sanders on tonight. We got Sunday night. We play the Rams. But I'm looking forward to this. It's been a busy week. I saw pictures from Dragon Con, and looks like you guys had fun.
Dude, I don't know how we survived, Nick, because we walked, and you know, folks, we walked a lot. What did we walk? 10 miles over the course of that?
Over the course of the convention, yeah, about 10, 12 miles for sure.
Yeah, and I know that's not, first world problem. Oh, you walk 12 miles. That's fine. But we went everywhere. It was awesome, but we wore ourselves out, dude. We even did the belt line. That was a fun walk.
Yeah.
And we're somehow still standing. We're here on time for you folks. But Dragon Con was a blast. A 10 out of 10. Now, before we tell you anything about tonight's show and get you, amped up for a great show tonight, folks, we're not going to keep it super mellow. But, folks, Dion is joining us tonight. So the way we're going to break things down for you at home is, well, after you hit that thumbs up button to let YouTube know you enjoyed this content. But the first thing we're going to do is when we get into the main topic, Nick and I are going to talk about Beetlejuice in a spoiler-free manner. When Dion arrives from his screening, then we will talk about it in a spoiler-ish manner. Not to ruin it, but it's a fun movie. You can't really take away the experience of seeing it. It's its own thing. But we'll talk about that in just a moment. Now, folks, we have an awesome word of the day. We got a great question from Georgian and a lot more. We'll be getting to you guys in just a moment. Now, as Nick said, it was the long weekend. It was Dragon Con, and we missed you all very much. So tonight, folks, we're amping up the show. We got a couple of new things coming at you, including a brand new way to play Explain a Film Plot Badly. We now have a picture round where the points are doubled, but if you get it wrong, you can lose points too. So stick around. We'll be playing that tonight once Dion gets here. And with the visual round, folks, you can now see it and play along at home as well. And I did my worst to present you with terrible images so I can explain the film poorly, just visually. Now, it is September the 5th as of this recording right now, which means, folks, the countdown is on for Schlocktoberfest. Yes, WCBS's favorite time of the year is Halloween. We love horror movies. We love pumpkin pie, but not necessarily pumpkin spice, but it's the best time of the year. The heat breaks, the horror movies come on, and everything gets a little bit scary, including WCBS. So this year, folks, Schlocktoberfest is coming to you from the 1980s. And right now, folks, I'd like to know some of your favorite 1980s horror movies. Is it Child's Play? Is it A Nightmare on Elm Street? Is your favorite Fright Night? It is a great film. Let me know right now in the comments. We'll check in with you guys in just a moment, and we'll talk about that a little later, closer to October. But it's going to be a fun month. We have some new ideas, some new video series, and it's going to be a Schlocktoberfest to remember. And no, I'm not going to pass out on the commentary and become Aquarium Jeff, unless you guys get me really drunk, but we're not drinking tonight. So, folks, it is time for the word of the day. Now, yes, so Georgian, I'm going to read your super chat as soon as we get to that, because yours actually requires a lot more discussion, because you can't just drop a little factoid, a little truth bomb about this important date in pop culture history and not spend the appropriate amount of time on such a legendary thing. So, Shazorjan, thank you for your support. Thank you for your patience. And we will get to that in just a moment when we start reading all the super chats. But the word of the day comes from Shrebbles08. The word of the day is dumped. 2 weeks ago to dumped a AAA game, The Dumped Acolyte, fistful of the dumped woke, and Titanic's dumped movie. Folks, dump or dumped. I'm gonna put a call out there and say it could be dump or dumped, because I do think dump is a very funny word. It has many different meanings, and I think you could do like dump all the way would be a pretty good title. But folks, play at home. Give us your favorite dump or dumped title. Remember,
Here we go. Eddie Murphy, dumped.
dumps. Dude, you got to watch My Name is Dolomite, by the way. Saw it on the flight home from Atlanta.
I haven't seen that yet.
It not only is it a good movie, it's inspirational.
Oh, the one he did for Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I watched that a while back. It's awesome. He did a great job.
Yeah, man, Eddie Murphy's back. We'll talk about him later. Maybe we'll go to maybe tonight, folks, if you ask nicely, I'll show you what I got from Dragon Con about Beverly Hills Cop 2. I got a piece of Beverly Hills Cop history.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'll tell you about it in a minute. Folks, if you want to see it, make sure you go over to subscribe to Wrestling with Horror and support ETEP as well as WCBS. And I'd like to thank we've had a lot of new subscribers right now, and it's because of our new video system and our new clips and all that. So we gained like 500 last week. That was a pretty cool jump, and the videos keep going up. So I just want to tell everybody thank you and welcome in. If this is your first podcast, well, it's going to get a little weird because Pete's here, and when Pete gets here, it gets kind of crazy. It's a party.
I bring the insanity with me, which, like Jeff said, if you subscribe, which we're 10 away from 1900 right now. So,
folks, let's get him there right now.
Just give me over 1900
on air. But come on,
we could do. Look, I'm not asking for a lot here. I don't ever really show for myself here. But yeah, just get us over that little hump there, folks. I guarantee you will find something on my channel that entertains you. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, and he's doing a wonderful Patreon series right now. Can you tell people what you're doing?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you for that segue into the Patreon. It's patreon.com/wrestling with horror 420. And we are covering the Andy Sedaris Lethal Ladies series. And we have had an absolute blast with that. The Return to Savage Beach just went up today. So you've got from Guns, you've got Guns, Do or Die, Hard Hunted, Fit to Kill, Enemy Gold, Dallas Connection, Day of the Warrior, Return to Savage Beach, all up there right now with Malibu Express, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Picasso Trigger, and Savage Beach on their way. We got a Terrifier 2 up there. The Crow's coming soon. The new Crow, we'll have that up there. There's some show after the show episodes. That's why Jeff requested that I reviewed. So I'm doing this one for him. I'm going to make him join us for that, though.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up, man. I like to torture myself just a little bit.
Yeah. So
and if anybody doesn't know who Andy Sedaris is or what those movies are and all those names mean, it is the quintessence of the 80s is what Andy Sedaris movies are. You have tits, you have guns, you have crazy spies that don't make sense doing weird shit. It's a wonderful, they're wonderful movies. You will fall in love with them once you watch them, especially with ETEP. And I think I might even join them for a couple of Patreons as well because they're that good. Please. Like, yeah, I think we all own copies of them. I think me and ETEP own them all on Blu-ray.
Yep.
So yeah, they're wonderful movies. If you've never seen them, I highly recommend subscribing to ETEP's Patreon and hearing us get sloshed and talk about these wonderful movies.
I was drunk by the last night. I got a little tipsy, which I don't really do anymore on the show. But yeah, I was pretty lit by the end of the commentary last night. So that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah. Do or Die is my favorite because Pat Morita's in it, and it's just hilarious.
Oh, I got Gerald Akamura. We've all got him to interact with us on Twitter.
Nice.
He plays Fu, and I'm gonna reach out to him. He's kind of active on Twitter, and he's like 83, and he still does stuff. And it's like, man, I'm like, what if we did? I was like, we need to reach out to him. And he's awesome. But yeah, he played Fu opposite Julie Strain in the last two. He was kind of like he was a baby face. Yeah. Yes. And that's another one that we've got coming up soon is Samurai Cop.
Wait, if you need a Samurai Cop expert, I think I'm the only person you'll ever meet that can say Amir Shervan was the director off the top of his head. Like,
yeah, I don't.
Okay, so I wanted to say this, Clone Geek, the dump is not enough is too funny to me. Like, it just, and then Enrique also had one, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Dump. That was awesome. And yeah, we're going to talk about the Burbs TV show too. Do not worry, but don't forget to remind me.
Oh,
yeah, we'll follow that dumpster fire in the making. I may have been in an area. Look, I read that earlier today, and I just wanted to dump everywhere. What a stupid concept. The dump after from Jason Evangelista. Thank you. By Big Fat Creek.
Big Fat Creek
That's
dump.
my favorite one.
Oh God.
Oh, Layden Swallow, thank you very much. You guys, everybody in the chat, I'm reading it. We got 28 dumps later, 51st dumps. That's back to back too. Digsby and Jim Sterling and Mankini were definitely on the same wavelength. So,
that's awesome. I love it. I love it.
Make
sure you guys are clicking that like button, also clicking the share button to help get us along a little bit more on YouTube. It is working. We are gaining subscribers. It is helping out. Also, if you have Twitter, check us out on Twitter and retweet the show if you can. That'll help too.
Please do, folks. We always appreciate that. And like we say, we grow together quickly, and things are working because we have new tools to make. And I know I'm looking around like I'm a crazy man. I was looking for my podcast questions deck. Nick, I had the new one you just gave me sitting right the fuck. There's a table here. How did I misplace it? Anyway,
it's probably underneath your chair, like your remote was.
Oh, like the TV remote.
I was gonna,
don't you troll me.
segue into a promo spot for Woke Busters. I'm like, have you got Woke Busters? Make sure you get. I am quick. Woke Busters mentioned, folks, sent out the information for everybody to please update your addresses. We're going to be able to put the book to print next week because the funds did come the 21 days after. So we're just checking everything out to make sure that's done, and it goes to print, and we're getting it fulfilled quickly because I've assembled a team. But I didn't want to tell you that. I wanted to tell you I've decided to go ahead with the song. So when the book is available in the future, there will be a commercial with the actual Woke Busters song, and it has words and music that's been commissioned and all that fun shit. So when I put out a book, when Jeff Hicks puts his name out on a book, it's not just a book, but it's going to be a fun event. So be on the lookout. There's a Woke Busters late night podcast still coming your way. It's a little crazy, but it involves the world of Woke Busters. So you definitely don't want to miss out. The cream of the crop is what I would call this podcast because nobody did it better. That was a great time. Oh, it was fun. That was fun.
Let's see what else we got on the list. Let's read the super chat from Sejorjan, and then we'll talk about Dragon Con a little later because we got some fun stuff to talk about. Folks, hit that thumbs up button to let YouTube know that you enjoy this content, and tell a friend to join you each and every Thursday night here on WCBS. Sejorjan says, Batman, the animated series, debuted 32 years ago, September 5th, 1992. We'll talk about the next one in a second, but Jenna Ortega commented recently that we don't need a female James Bond. But let's take a moment to talk about one of, if not the most important shows of the 90s. Oh, man, the background didn't work. Shit. I had there it goes. There we go. I just wanted that to show up for a minute while we're here. But you'll probably have a seizure in a minute, so I'll go back to the regular. But Batman the Animated Series is my favorite cartoon of all time. When you're talking what is the greatest cartoon of all time, that's it. I get that there's nostalgia for every era. Every show is someone's favorite cartoon. But in regards to artistic quality, advancements in technology, advancements in storytelling, a quality show that has never been topped in 32 years, there has never been a cartoon that had the same deep impact as Batman the Animated Series. It was a show that I grew up with, which was awesome, but it never went away because it's that good. There really isn't a bad episode. Even I've Got Batman in my basement has some fans. So I love this cartoon. I still celebrate it. I got the Todd McFarlane Batmobile in the other room. I got my animated series action figures up there. I got the original one. I got the new set on pre-order. Like, I love this show. Conroy was my Batman. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I also can't add anything prolific to it, but it's a fantastic show. Pete, Nick, any comments about that cartoon? Did you guys enjoy it?
Oh, thoroughly. You know,
Yeah.
It was definitely one of the things I looked forward to watching as a kid. I think Clayface still terrifies me in that show to this day because he's just like very menacing, and when they made him kind of like a fucking weirdo in the Harley Quinn show, I was very disappointed. But he's still like in the old animated series, he's still scary as shit, and I really want a Clayface movie so bad because of that. But I need to actually get the show on Blu-ray. Like I need to have it in my collection.
It's a great set. Like no other cartoon from our childhood has been restored and preserved the way this show has. Like, it looks crisp and new and perfect. Like, they did not cut any corners because of the importance of it. Now, Pete, I don't want to jump the gun again, but what did you think about it when it came out, or what do you think about it now?
No, I watched it. I was a little bit older when it came out, but fortunately, I've never grown up, so I always have watched. I've always watched cartoons. So
Same.
I watched, and it's like the X-Men cartoon started when I was like 12 and wrapped up when I was like 17, but I would still watch it when I was 17 years old because I liked the show. And it was much the same with, Batman, the animated series. I'd have to record it, later on because I'd after school stuff, you got football and stuff like that. So I'd have to record it, but I enjoyed it and I'm rewatching it now. Like, I don't have like specific memories of like a lot of the episodes. I just remember it being a very well done series, and watching it back now, and like you said, I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but it stood the test of time. And my son, he loves that. He loves the older animation. There's been like, there's new series that he likes, but he always gravitates towards the stuff that I showed him when he was really little, and he carries that now. So we've been rewatching it. Like, we haven't watched it in a couple weeks, but we were watching like a couple episodes here and there, and he enjoys them the same way I do. It's fun. It's like seeing him over for the first time now because it's been, 30 years since I've seen some of these episodes. So I enjoyed the show. Like I said, it's always been a major like landmark in animation as far as like an achievement of just making a show that is for kids, but honestly, like, we're adults and we watch this. I'm like, this is good. Like, it holds up. It's good storytelling.
I'm not trying to laugh at your take because it's actually really well said, but somebody posted the postman always dumps toys.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. But no, it's a great cartoon, like I said. Now I can get specific. I do like to study the art style. It's just a great show. I had everything from it as a kid. That Batman toy, my grandma bought it for me. I still have it, and I also bought like a newer one because the old paint wore off. But I played with that thing everywhere. That was the toy. Like, everybody has one that was like the one that went everywhere. That was mine. That Batman. He went on every adventure. Shit, he teamed up with Spider-Man a bunch as a kid too. But folks, the nice part is Batman the Animated Series is available everywhere. You can watch it on Max. You can get it on DVD, Blu-ray. I don't know what you're going to do. Get in your pirate ships. Go buy it. It's that good. Like, it doesn't matter about Feeding the Beast or some crappy movie or the Snyder Cut or something. No. Go celebrate the art you like. Batman the Animated Series is a quality show. There's really nothing else to say. So go watch it today.
Exactly.
But thank you, Sir Georgian. Jason Evangelista, thank you very much for your $2 super chat. We appreciate that. We appreciate seeing you here, man. Thank you. TLJ Screwjob says, also, he's been a member for 18 months. TLJ Screwjob, thank you. Actual entertainment fans have been eating good lately. Concord, 8 years, 2 weeks, and Dustborn being flops. Beetlejuice being great. Yeah, great is not an overstatement, coming from me. When we get to this review in a minute, folks, you're going to see me very, very happy. If you haven't watched today's review, go watch it. You got to watch all of our videos. You love the channel, check out everything we do. It's all world class. But TLJ Screwjob, yeah, we have been eating good. It's kind of hard for people to look for so much of the negativity like outside of Disney. Like, Disney's still a shit show. And Lucasfilm, they're never going to get their stuff together. It's just funny to watch how much worse it can get. And we will always be there to, I don't know,
dump on them.
Dump on them. Yeah, there we go. Use of the Nick Wynn word of the day. But yeah, folks, it's been a lot of fun. And we've been bringing a lot of that fun to the channel, and so have you guys. So let's keep this stuff going. TLJ Screwjob, thank you. Let's see. Enrique says, hail WCBS and Pete spelled backwards. Number 65, please. It took me way too long to figure that one out. I was looking like this lady.
Little ray gun action. Yeah, I'm shocked.
God.
I've been doing this for almost 6 years, and yeah, people are just now like, "Oh wait, your name's Pete," and I'm like, "Yeah, congrats." No, I'm not really Egyptian.
They finally caught on. They finally got the joke. They finally got the joke.
You know, that was the thing, is like all these years I had that one troll telling me, you remember this? Remember the guy who insisted that I was Egyptian? He's like, you're not white, you're Egyptian. I'm like, I assure you, I am not Egyptian.
That was so weird.
All the things I am, I'm not Egyptian. I mean, I do this from time to time. But
who doesn't?
That's, you just sometimes you gotta walk like an Egyptian.
That girl's so hot, or woman. Suzanne. Mm-hmm. Here's number 65 for you, Enrique.
Oh my God! Unbelievable! Oh my God!
I love Perk Angle. You know what, Enrique? In honor of something, Batman the Animated Series, here's another button.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. Oh my God! Einhorn is a man.
I love that so much. I'm not sorry.
Oh my God.
John Thomas, thank you. And I'm sorry we didn't meet up. I didn't see the messages. He says, Dragon Con was my first con. Enjoyed it. Going back next year. So am I. We'll have to rectify the problem. I did send you a couple messages while there. Found 2 Haunted Tank comics, $1 each, in pretty good condition. John, I'm sorry we didn't cross paths. I wish I would have saw the messages, because Nick and I were just constantly on the go. One day we waited in line for hours, but it wasn't just like you're standing in line. You just kept moving and stuff just to get.
It was for it was for the vendor area, because that was the longest line I'd ever seen for that ever. I don't know. I think more people came this year, because everything's finally back to normal, and they're just like, fuck it, we're gonna travel down and do this. And like, there was a lot more people this year, like quite a bit more.
Yeah, it was wrapped around the block literally. So
yeah,
folks, Dragon Con was awesome. Come see us next year. We'll hang out. We should all get a big group to go to that party that they had. Imagine if we had all of us at a table drinking, having fun. Let's do that next year.
Well, see, there was a Star Wars party, and then the one we went to was like the 10th floor, something like that. I forget the name of it.
Don't you love that we skipped the Star Wars party?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, my friend who saw us there, he went into it after the shoot. That was another one that had a line around the block, but he made it in there like it was easy. He just walked in, it was fine. But the other one we were in there was a line for the whole night. It was weird.
Well, people like to party, and I like to party too. So, John Thomas, I'm sorry we didn't run into you, but next year, man, Nick and I are going to go for sure. I think the passes are on sale now, so
yeah, they are.
Go ahead and get mine.
Yeah, may want to get it. Let me look at it and I'll get back to you.
But John, I got a hell of a deal at the con. I got $5 action figures, and I'll tell you about those when we get into the Dragon Con segment. Freddie Delgado, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. There's no message, but I appreciate you here each and every week, my friend. Thank you. And ETEP, Wrestling with Horror, member for 18 months. Good man. Thank you very much, sir. Tupac's new diss track, To Live and Dump in L.A. Yeah. I want to listen to it. Sign me up.
Maybe it should be San Francisco. I think it'd be more accurate if it was
San Francisco. They do have San Francisco does have the shit tracker.
They got shit tracker.
Got shit tracker. Yep.
It's like Storm Tracker, but never mind.
Oddly enough, you get one of those with Amber Heard when she moves into a neighborhood too. It's
is that the repercussions from the court case?
Yeah, it's like a tether, except it's not. It monitors where she poos.
There you go.
All right, folks, it is now time to talk about our first title card topic. Thank you for bearing with us. We've been having a lot of fun tonight, as you have as well. Thank you to all the people who've been supporting the channel. Everybody who sends stuff in, we will read it for sure. So thank you. You keep the channel going and moving. So we appreciate you guys. We couldn't do it without you. Now, this is all while I get this ready so we can talk about Beetlejuice. Now, folks, this is a spoiler-free segment. We will talk about the story, but we're not going to go into very specifics yet. We're going to give you broad strokes and then let you know what we thought of it opinion-wise and all of the good post-conversation. But we'll save specific story beats or anything like that a little later on. But Joseph Bienowicz, thank you very much. He's been a member for 18 months, says they dump. Hail to all. Yes, they dump. Is that what happens when you put on the sunglasses? Also, too, the Jenna Ortega stuff about James Bond not needing to be a male and how there are other female characters out there. Let's keep this going. We never have needed a female Bond. It's something that the news always goes to when there's nothing to talk about. Oh, we need to get people riled up on the internet. Female James Bond gets the sexists talking. No, it gets the fans rolling their eyes and telling you to shut up because we don't want to watch it. We didn't want the lady to be 007. You had to go back and reshoot that shit because you had messed up big time. Had you put that out where James Bond was chasing around the real 007, your movie would have flopped. And it wasn't that great in the first place. But that's a topic for later. But I do agree that there never needs to be a female James Bond or a gay James Bond or anything besides the regular James Bond. It's just that guy. He's that character. He does his stuff. I don't really know much about Jenna Ortega, but this is the thing. First thing she said that I've ever gone, yes, you are correct. What do you guys have to say about that?
When did she become like able to make a base take like that? I don't expect that out of anybody in Hollywood anymore. When they do, I'm pleasantly surprised, but I always wait for the other shoe to drop. Like,
Yeah.
Based. Now here comes the apology for saying so. Oh, what I meant was, yes, absolutely, there should be a female. No, but honestly, it's a good take. Yeah, you don't need. And somebody brought up Atomic Blonde as a good example of a new property with a badass female, which I like that movie. I thought it was good. I thought Charlize Theron was absolutely a badass in that movie. It was a kick-ass action movie with a new character. There was no, hey, we gender swapped and race Bennett and
nope, not at all.
No, it was just, this is the story. Here it is. Here's the story beats. Here's your character and go. And you could just enjoy it. That's what you should do. Now this whole, I didn't see the last James Bond movie because I'm like, there's nothing in that for me at all. Like I'm middling on Daniel Craig. I liked a few of his movies. I didn't like a few of them. But I'm more of a Bond casual than anything, 007 casual.
You never need to watch it. Let's just be completely honest. I love Bond. The only reason I bought it on disc is out of obligation to own every James Bond movie. That's just a thing I have to do. So it was $10 and I got it real cheap. But don't watch it.
Bad.
It's not, it ain't really worth it.
I won't. From everything I've heard, no.
Yeah, it's
Jason Green, I will definitely do that. It's coming, my friend. We will have everything up and running. We're moving forward quickly. So I want to give a quick shout out to our friend Gunnar, who just became a member. Then he was so excited by what he saw, he gifted 5 World Class Bullshitters memberships. So Gunnar, thank you very much for your generosity. Folks, if you have gotten a membership because of Gunnar, make sure you say thank you and keep this audience community, whatever you want to call it, whatever the word you choose to use. Let's keep this thing growing and going. Thank you, guys. Joseph Bienwich also gifted another membership. So, folks, the WCBS membership program has grown a lot today. And, folks, you have that hour-long discussion, that roundtable with Nick and I, where we talk about Beetlejuice for, like I said, an hour. And we go into detail. We go into all the spoilers. And that will be put on Patreon after tonight's show. The way Patreon works is you got to upload it to one source and then link it to that. And I uploaded it and I stepped away and I completely forgot. So it'll be on Patreon tonight for you guys at the video tier. Actually, I'm just going to put it on there for the audio tier too, because there's nothing to just listen to. It'd be pointless. It's just our faces. So everybody gets that. Yeah. It's like Christmas. No. The weather could break though. Now let's start talking about Beetlejuice. I almost called it 2. That'd be too many Beetlejuice.
Well, it's still, if you call Beetlejuice 2, like I've heard people just do it shorthand and be like Beetlejuice 2, like they've been referring.
How about
to
2 Beetlejuice?
2 Beetlejuice.
I want that one. Would you guys want to wear those t-shirts?
Wait, no. Is you replacing Paul Walker? Is that what's happening?
They're both dead guys. So whatever.
I was thinking Beetlejuice 2 Electric Electric Boogaloo, but
that would be
Beetlejuice
fun.
breakdance. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
He's a man of great culture.
He is. He's the greatest bioexorcist of all time. And he probably has moves like this.
Where's the
we
kangaroo
saw more
kid?
of her at Dragon Con than anyone else. That's
Oh
not a
no,
joke.
dude, no, we saw so many ray guns at Dragon Con. It was hilarious. It was wonderful because it was funny because the episode we did before that, I was like, Jeff, we're probably going to see a lot of ray guns there. That's probably going to be the most popular costume because the simplest one that everybody will get quickly.
Yep.
And sure enough, we saw like a plethora of ray guns. It was great.
How do you just pluralize ray gun as ray guns, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So Beetlejuice, or Two Beetle, Two Juice, as it's now known here on WCBS. Let me get a little closer to this microphone. Thank you, Joseph Pietowicz. I'll look into that. So this is a legacy sequel. Now, legacy sequels are not things that we like around here on the channel. They tend to suck. Now, this channel has gone and reached great heights because of a little film called Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which is a legacy sequel. That legacy sequel spawned this book, Stealing Solo, which has helped, do a lot of great stuff. But every other element of that movie has been terrible. They took your favorite characters, they ruined them. They gave you the same movie but crappier. They gave you great-ish special effects, but no story to carry those special effects. Hey, guess what? If you like Lucasfilm and Star Wars wasn't ruined enough, well, guess what? Let's screw over Indiana Jones twice. Now, we'll leave Kingdom of the Crystal Skull out of the mix because it's already crap. But then 5 comes out and makes Indiana Jones a feeble old man. And he cries, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge takes over. Guess what? Beetlejuice 2 has none of the modern-day problems of legacy sequels. This is a true sequel to Beetlejuice in every way possible. The characters, the writing, the acting, the story, the music, the dance numbers. This movie has it all, and it is Beetlejuice to a T. Beetlejuice is still great. Michael Keaton gives the same quality of performance. It's like he never missed a beat. It's got the same physicality. It's not cheesy. It's not cringy. It does not feel like they're trying to do modern year Beetlejuice. It is Beetlejuice today. He talks about the 70s more than he talks about anything modern. It's just such a well done legacy sequel. And it's something we really need right now because we're never going to get out of legacy sequels and reboots and remakes. That's just, it sucks, but we have to accept some of these things, even though I want original content always. But if they're going to dust off Beetlejuice and they do it great, you got to give them credit where credit's due. And for me, I love this movie. Like, I just watched the review from last night, the hour-long one where I gush really long. But I thought this movie was so fun. It was hilarious. Everybody did a great job. And Jenna Ortega was a small part of the movie. Her scenes were cut quickly to when she get too much screen time, they'd remind you that this is a Beetlejuice movie. Lydia is the lead of the film. But it's great. I mean, without me trying to spoil anything yet, I love this movie. I'm going to go see it on Sunday. Nick, you enjoyed it. What did you think of it, just briefly? Like I
mean, I liked it. I'm not as big of a Beetlejuice fan as you are. I still did enjoy it. I thought a couple of characters weren't needed, but I mean, they were still there, and they didn't get in the way. They didn't how do I say this? They didn't interrupt the story too much, and they were okay. But like no, Lydia was definitely the the
focal point.
It's the focal point. Yeah, it's her story, it's her movie. That's what it is. Yeah, Jenna Ortega was kind of like the side character. Delia was even more. I think Jenna Ortega was like the third lead in the movie because you had Delia and fourth, sorry. Because you had Delia and Lydia, who were like back and forth, mother and daughter, and they brought it back from the old movie. Them fighting, them squabbling, things like that. It was really good because they brought it back, and you could tell Delia was very happy to see Lydia, kind of like having a very typical like teenage daughter who's just very angsty and just hates everything. And she was getting it back the way she got it back in the 80s, so she was very content to see that happen. That was really funny.
Yeah, dude, Delia was awesome in this movie. She is so much better in this one than and she's great in the first one. Like, there's no digs at the first movie at all. It's perfect. But man, is that character like developed further in a really interesting way.
Oh no, really she is. And yeah, like Jeff said, Jenna Ortega has a pretty much a minor part. She's not the focal point of it. It's not really her movie. It's it's Winona Ryder's. But even her parts, like there were times where you felt her being on screen a little too long, and you're just like and then all of a sudden there was a cut, so they knew what they were doing. They got just enough of her to get her fan base in the door, and get their butts in the seats, and I think that's what they were kind of going for.
And it worked. It's one of those movies that the marketing is slightly different than the film you're going to get. Now, Nick, last night in the review that you guys should all check out now that we have all these new members, thank you to everybody out there. Nick and I talk more in depth about that, but that's, another plug for that. But just go back, check it, because I don't want to be too redundant. But what I wanted to say, though, is Jenna Ortega and everybody fit their role incredibly well, not only in the actual acting of the film, but how they're going to get this to appeal to all audiences. And this movie is very much for all audiences. I've seen people on Google ask, is this appropriate for kids? Yeah, it's not. It's a PG-13 movie. So you're going to get scares and all that. It's in no way any harsher or gory or more vulgar than the first Beetlejuice. Here's a small spoiler. It's not really a spoiler, but he says the F word like he does in the first movie. It's hilarious. He goes to do it a second time. They beep him out. It's so self-aware that Beetlejuice can only say it once, and then it beeps it out. It's just so funny. And that's where it really rolls into this, is this movie is for everybody. I expect to see tons of people dressed as Beetlejuice this Halloween, and people are going to really get into the spirit of it. Yeah, and it's perfect too, because we got almost just shy of 2 months from Halloween. Then we're going to have, people still celebrating that movie. Then Beetlejuice always comes back around the Halloween season anyway, because it's horror. And Beetlejuice is, forever again. It's a great franchise that was one movie in a cartoon series, and we all remembered it. And then they add this new movie, and it just elevates it, because it'll bring it into the next generation. That's what all these movies are trying to do and supposed to do, but they never get it right. Back to Beetlejuice and Beverly Hills Cop did, and those are two of my favorite movies, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, and as we were talking about that video, the only reason legacy sequels are ruined is because of Disney. That's it. Because we named Axel F and a couple other ones that were actually good, and when we thought about it for half a second, Disney's the ones that keep screwing it up, and it's funny because they're the ones with the biggest budget and the biggest reach, and yet they can't do it right. It's just hilarious.
No, it's sad is really what it is, Nick, because they had all the parts. I know we don't really want to keep going about Star Wars and shit, but we're just using this as an example. But Star Wars had all of the parts as well. All the actors came back. They had John Williams. They had ILM. They had money out the ass. It cost $400 million to really make Force Awakens. They had everything. And it did the job of making money, but it didn't do the job of moving Star Wars into the next generation. You lived through it, folks. We're not going to go down that path. But I just am so, I guess, relieved, because I was really convinced this would suck based on the trailer and what I'm hearing, or what I was seeing in the stuff. I was it seems a little too cringy. It's it's trying too hard. And then you watch the movie and it just is not that at all. Tim Burton, I don't know how the guy gets better. I know people think some of his work is his best, but I think Beetlejuice can be thrown into that. His original one's my favorite movie of his, but this one's a better movie than something like Batman Returns. This movie makes so much better sense. It's got such a flow too. It's 40 minutes and it doesn't stop once.
No. The pacing is great. You're never bored. You're never looking at your watch, figuring out what time it is. I will shit on two things though. I will say two kind of negatives. One, Jenna Ortega is basically acting as Wednesday Addams, but with a little bit more humanity and minus the dark clothes. That's basically her character. Two, most of the funny stuff you saw in the trailer is what's in the movie as well. There's not, for me anyways, there were a couple more things, but not much more.
And that's where I definitely, Nick and I disagreed, because I thought the stuff from the trailer was dumb and didn't interest me. But then the movie it's Beetlejuice comedy. It's weird. It's not like your normal low-hanging fruit jokes. Like, yeah, Beetlejuice will make those jokes because then everybody's like laughs and roars, but they're like really obscure jokes and weird callbacks to just not even just the first movie, but like there's art jokes. There's like, if you're okay, I know I'm sounding weird, but I'm an artist. I get what they were talking about and a lot of the stuff they were like making fun of because I've interacted with those people and I've seen those things. And I'm just like, oh shit, this is like really funny. And then there's even this like weird social hierarchy commentary too. It's got all this shit in it, but it's never like heavy-handed or really even noticeable. You just have to pay attention to what all the characters are saying, unless you just want to laugh at the Beetlejuice parts and look at the awesome special effects or the gore or this or that. But I thought this movie was like, when they did the dubbing of one scene, I won't spoil anything, I fucking lost it. Like when he starts speaking a foreign language and stuff, I was like, what is that?
Yeah, out of no, like that came out of nowhere, and that got me too. And I was like, what the hell's going on? But like it was still in like Michael Keaton's voice, and I was just like, this is weird, but it's really good.
Dude, like I said, folks, without trying to spoil anything for you guys, I really am going to see this again. This isn't one of those, hey, let me shill for Warner Brothers. I'm not those channels. I don't do that kind of stuff. Warner Brothers is just a company to us. But we've been kind to some of their movies because they have had some good movies. We also didn't like Barbie, so that goes out the window. But in reality, this movie was just so refreshing because I do love Beetlejuice. I'm not like the guy that wears black all year or acts like. See, that's the thing. I love horror, I love comic books, and I love wrestling. But I don't really fit into those groups like a die-hard whatever. Like I don't wear wrestling t-shirts.
No, Jeff, because you actually take a shower.
I do. Every day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times, depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, I never really fit into what you consider like a Beetlejuice fan. I'm not really like a Tim Burton acolyte. I like Beetlejuice and Batman in that order, actually. But I love Beetlejuice. That's something like I know as well as Star Wars. I can quote Beetlejuice, ask me questions about the lore, aka the one movie that existed. Like, it's just my thing. And take that, folks, as somebody who likes Beetlejuice for what it is, loves the cartoon, not the video games, because those were crappy, but like somebody who really loves all of Beetlejuice stuff, this just did it right. I even was talking to a couple people after the movie, and they're like, I would watch another one. And I went, so would I, but I don't want it. Don't think I'm saying, like, let's get Beetlejuice made. I mean, like, let's just, like, never touch Beetlejuice again, but let's just use it as an example of what to do Hollywood. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Go copy this movie.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the cartoon right now to buy it, and it's just like I really did love the cartoon as a kid a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun, so I might actually purchase that. Yeah.
Well, you have to check out. One of the listeners told me that the cartoon's been showing on MeTV cartoons in the morning, so I might have to go check that out.
Yeah, it's also according to the internet, it's also on Tubi, our favorite VOD platform, Jeff.
I was watching something on Tubi before we started the show. Now, a couple questions that were out in the chat, and this really isn't like a spoiler, so it's not going to ruin your experience. Somebody asked about Harry Belafonte stuff. You've seen the Deo scene in the trailer, but it's not like. It's just played for laughs. I don't want to spoil the joke for you. That's the thing. This is such a comedy movie. It's not, you know how they try to like take a franchise and reinvent it? Like, oh, this time it's a science fiction-y story or it's a horror-y story. No, this is just like Beetlejuice, and it's funny like throughout the movie. But there is no Harry Belafonte. Let's see, Warner Brothers better than Disney. Yes, that is true, Dr. Coffin. Now, did they use practical or CGI effects? I'm pretty sure most of it was practical, but they had to use CGI for a couple things.
Yeah, they went practical as much as they could. Obviously, they had to use CG, you know, when they couldn't go physical. But yeah, they used as much physical as they could. You could tell. I remember watching an interview previously with Tim Burton and Michael Keaton about that. And them just being like, yeah, we tried to go as practical as we could for everything until we couldn't. So they really wanted to bring back the old 80s vibe of it, the whole thing from the old movie into this. And they really did. It was a very, like, even stylistically, it was all there. And it was funny because even Beetlejuice, even Michael Keaton looking a little older helped Beetlejuice kind of like look like he's aging and looks like he's been seasoned and you know, a little bit longer, and, you know, what he was doing and stuff looked great.
Yeah,
I did absolutely love the therapy scene. That was fucking hilarious. Like that was one of my favorites.
Yeah. And then he like puts that costume back on later in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've had this much fun in a movie, and definitely this year, years. Like seriously, I haven't laughed this much in a movie in a long time. We're talking maybe like Avengers, long time.
Oh God.
No, 21 Jump Street was after the Avengers. 21 Jump Street, then maybe this.
Yeah. 21, 22 Jump Street for sure. Because those movies are just they're so good. Yeah. If you're a fan of Beetlejuice and you're worried if it's bad or not, it's not. Go watch it. Go give it your money. Tell Hollywood you like it, and I and like you said, Jeff. I mean, I would love to see another one, but I think 2 is good enough.
Yeah, it's done. Like, put Beetlejuice on the shelf forever. Now you got 2 movies that you can sell at Halloween, or I watch them all year long because those movies take place over the summer.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The first one does. This one takes place on Halloween now. Ooh, it's
yeah. It's true. It does.
But it's different. So
Okay, then make it a box set. Give us a cartoon of the 2 movies. Like, I would love that. Like, redo the cartoon somehow, or put on Blu-ray or whatever. Because
just remaster it. Put it through one of those neural net processing things and just upscale the cartoon to 4K.
Yeah, that's it. Because because I remember the beginning of the cartoon quite a bit when I was watching it, and I'm definitely gonna order it because it's just thinking about it is bringing me back. So I might actually
definitely do that. One of those things. I just am kind of thinking about it. It's kind of influenced a little by the cartoon because the Beetlejuice Lydia relationship, while it is still like he's still after her and all that stuff, it's lightened. Like, how it would be as you get older, still water runs deep, but you're still kind of, I don't know, calmer about it. It felt like there was just like the Lydia Beetlejuice thing was a little goofier this time. And
way goofier. It was great.
Now, someone in the chat, Alpha Beta Ed, says weird way of spelling Top Gun Maverick. I know Top Gun Maverick is the gold standard for a lot of people. It's third for me. It's third of legacy sequels. It's Beetlejuice, Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun. All great. All if Beverly Hills Cop got a disc release, I'd buy that as well. But how do you guys feel about that? Or at least you, Nick? Do you think Beetlejuice is better than Top Gun Maverick, or Top Gun Maverick?
No, Top Gun Maverick is still. Actually, no, it's not. I mean, if we're talking legacy sequels, and I guess, are we talking only movies or like other things as well?
Just movies, legacy sequels.
Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, then Top Gun would be up there. What is the other one you mentioned? Beetlejuice, Top Gun, and then
Beverly Hills Cop.
See, damn. I would,
or you can throw in any of your legacy sequel choices.
Well, I'm trying to think of other ones that were good. That's the thing. Like it's been
because like Halloween was not good. The Star Wars one wasn't good. Any of them. Indiana Jones wasn't good. The Matrix wasn't good. They all kind of sucked. But my reasoning for Beetlejuice beyond just having a great time is I don't really like Top Gun 1. I know, right? Oh, we love your show, Jeff, but you don't like Top Gun? It's a fine movie. I don't dislike it, but it's not my favorite. I didn't grow up watching it and thinking Maverick was cool. I never thought Tom Cruise was cool as a kid. I liked Mission Impossible, but James Bond was way cooler. Mission Impossible was just Tom Cruise being, a spy. What was the phrase I used? Intense perfectionist is every Tom Cruise character. Yeah, folks, hear me out for a moment. Quick detour about Tom Cruise.
Oh God,
Nick and I were talking about him on the way, or when we were down in Atlanta, as we do talk about movies constantly, or horror. But I just said to him, like, I like Tom Cruise. He's fine. I don't have like a lot of negative stuff to say, but he plays the same character in every movie, and I came up with it as intense perfectionist. Everyone, name a Tom Cruise movie. Intense perfectionist. That's it. But I still love Top Gun Maverick. It's the best looking disc I own. It was awesome. It was a little bit like Star Wars, which I really liked, but I just don't have the connection to Top Gun. You're never going to get me like Top Gun to me is just, or Maverick is just a great movie that came out. Awesome. Love it. High marks. but there weren't as many stakes for me personally, and that's why everybody feels differently, because everyone's got an opinion, and that's cool.
Yeah, I gotta definitely put well, mine is different. I'd say Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, and then Beetlejuice, for sure, because yeah, that's the way I like them. Yeah, because those have been the top, I think the top legacy sequels in the last 5 or 6 years, I want to say.
I'll put those as the 3 best ever.
Yeah,
Like, seriously, I can't think of a better, because like you start to gray the area of like, and Pete, please chime in if you have anything to add to this, but like other legacy sequels, like is Superman Returns a legacy sequel? I'd say it is, and it's garbage. Like, I hate that movie with a passion. Deadbeat Dad Superman, no thank you. Alien Romulus, is Alien Romulus a legacy? Yeah, it is technically a legacy sequel.
Yeah,
Never mind.
that one's considered like in the same universe because they use a lot of the same, I believe, like they have the original Xenomorph feature. I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. I'll put it as 4.
I've heard it. I've heard it was good. I've heard good things about it, so I'm gonna check it. My kid loves the Alien movies, so he just watched like.
I love it.
Did you watch the original?
Yeah.
Okay,
he like
this
it
one
freaked
is
him out a
so
little bit,
much,
but he liked
this
it.
one is much gnarlier than any Alien movie that existed. Just to give you a heads up, like
Okay.
the chest burster like comes out of the breastbone over here, and you see the shoulder separate, so it's like super gory, and then like a lady gives birth to a xenomorph, and it like just shoots out, like the blood's like shooting out like constantly, and then this thing like morphs into the most unsettling creature I've ever seen in my entire life on film. So
nice.
Just be prepared. Like this is gonna be like, this one will get to him like in a good way. I'm just letting you know, you might hear like, Dad, I can't sleep because the giant tail monster's coming after me.
I'll probably watch it first, and then we'll be like, maybe he'll wait to see, because there's still some movies that like I'm like, look, man, you've watched a lot of slashers and stuff, but I'm like he's in the middle of watching The Walking Dead right now, and he's absolutely enthralled with it because he loves the zombies, which I'm like, okay, so now he's seen the original Romero. Now it's time to watch Dawn and Day and stuff like that, because he hasn't seen those yet.
Oh God! Are you gonna show him Return of the Living Dead?
I was gonna say my favorite is Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I love Part 1. It's great. It's Linnea Quigley is trash.
Love that
Thank you. Dancing in the graveyard. But Part 2 was the first one I saw. I did a review of that, like I want to say 4 years ago. Which is still, it's in the horror reviews playlist on my tab. But yeah, I love Part 2. That one was it was fun. Because you go back and you watch, because I saw that one first. Then you go back and watch 1, and you can see like the little winks and nods to Part 1 and the second one and how it differed. But yeah, it was those are awesome. Those are fun zombie movies.
Oh, dude. Clu Gallagher and the other guy, was it Mark McCarran or somebody? Those two guys were the best. The old men. Oh,
yep.
I love those movies.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Cyber Chud 2077. First off, that's a great name. But yeah, I think it's better than like Night of the Living Dead. I'll go out just on the original one. Best zombie movie ever made. Because sometimes you need to take a franchise and turn it on its ear and make it funny to make it really. And 1 second to cut myself off, it introduced the zombies who eat your brains. That's that movie's contribution to zombie lore. So it does have that granddaddy status.
Oh no, yeah, because that's the first zombie movie where you heard them say brains, and that's where it all came from. They never said it in Night of the Living Dead. Even eating brains wasn't exclusive until that movie, because in Night of the Living Dead you saw them eat bugs and things as well.
Oh, yeah.
So they ate everything. It's just that when you refined to brains was Return of the Living Dead. So
more brains.
Send more paramedics.
Send more cops. Yeah.
Send more cops.
Yep. Yeah, they were talking. They were driving in Return of the Living Dead Part 2. They're driving the military Jeep.
Yes.
That was freaking fantastic.
That franchise, like after 2, like went completely off the rails, but in kind of like an entertaining way.
I've never seen any of them past 2. I've heard 3
Oh my
is actually
God.
pretty good. I've never seen them.
3 is gnarly. Okay, let's see. Oh my God.
Isn't there, I think there's 5, isn't there? Isn't there 5?
There is. Hold on. I know 2 were on like Sci-Fi Channel. Let's see. Where is it? Release concept product. No, I need the sequels. What the hell's going on? Okay, let's see. No, that's not what they have. It's weird. I know that there are, there's 2, 3. 3 is, I forget what the fuck 3 is called. But
Yeah, it's got the girl with the fingers, syringes on her fingers.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. Let's see. Return of the Living Dead Part 2, Return of the Living Dead just Part 3, Return of the Living Dead Necropolis, and then Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave.
Rave to the Grave.
By the way, the last 2, Rave to the Grave and Necropolis, were filmed in like Romania, and they were filmed back to back over 6 weeks with the same kids.
Oh my God.
Let's watch it one day, Nick, when we're hanging out.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Hey,
I mean, they still have the 2,4,5 trioxin barrels, in it. But I really would love to like have. I really would love to, see one more go at it. That's a fun franchise. I feel like that is almost like an infinite franchise. You could like, unearth a barrel somewhere and like make it or whatever.
I wish Hollywood would do that, where like they would just, instead of setting up for a sequel, like where it's like, oh my God, they got to make another one. Like you said, create like one type of MacGuffin thing that can tie it to like, so that way, if one movie's a hit, then you can put some money into the next one and tie that in. But also, if you have one that doesn't hit well, you can cut the budget back and everybody's kind of locked in. It's, oh, they just found another trioxin. How crazy could it get? Maybe this story isn't as crazy because the budget doesn't do it. There isn't enough to justify it. So that's a great idea. Is my roundabout way of trying to say that, Nick.
Yeah, because I mean, you could make it about the pandemic and make it like, oh, this would really happen in like, Eastern Europe or, some other place like Hawaii or whatever. And just film
like Beetlejuice going Hawaiian.
Yeah, Beetlejuice going Hawaiian. Yeah, I mean, you could have it anywhere and just, say, oh, they found a barrel somewhere, because the whole premise of the movie is like the military lost the barrels. Yep. And there was a horrible, tragic thing that happened in Kentucky that they covered up, in the 80s that we just don't talk about anymore.
July 3rd, I post that on my personal feed as well as the WCBS feed. I love this movie. Yeah. And what the craziest part is? It was a blind buy on Blu-ray. Remember, Nick? I was out and I said, should I buy this? You think I'll like it? And you're like, yeah, you'll love it.
And that was fucking right.
The first Return of the Living Dead?
I got it on Blu-ray real cheap. I was like, Nick. Yep.
Yeah. Because like, you sent the pictures. Like, should I buy this? I'm like, yeah, go ahead and buy it. You'll love it. Just watch it.
I put it on when I went home. I was eating Chipotle. I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. I was loving it.
It's so much fun.
And the guy that was the mortician in the first one that they went to see, was there? He's like, isn't he supposed to be like an old Nazi
German soldier?
German soldier. Yeah, he's like, it's like I live here by way of Argentina. Like, why is your last name German?
yeah. Just because like, and he even had the gun, and I was just like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of imagery and shit used with that. It's like, but that's like, it's kind of like a neat little detail that you didn't have to put in, but they just put it in because it actually like makes it a little more layered. And you're not going into a movie thinking there's going to be this nuanced character who may or may not have done horrific things in the past. You know what I mean?
Well, the other, and I love that guy. The other thing I love is like the dialogue dump with the new kid and the guy, teaching him what's going on. I think that's like done extremely well, because you're doing this heavy dump of dialogue for like, I want to say like 3 minutes, but it's done so well that you're just like, enamored by it, and you're just like listening. It's like,
Get the Excelsior.
While we're on the subject of horror and we're talking about exposition dumps, I just reviewed the other night on the show on Tuesday, Long Legs. I hadn't seen
shit.
it.
What did you think about it?
What did I give? I gave it a 2 out of 5. All right. Wow. And I said it was good in parts. I liked some of the things, but it was like all over. It was batshit crazy. Okay,
Oh, it was 100%.
it was
100%
batshit crazy, and spoiler. I'm not going to go into details, but there is just a massive exposition dump at the end of the movie where they like explain everything, and I'm like, well, if the movie did a better job of explaining itself, you wouldn't have had to do an exposition dump right here. But who the hell am I? But it was weird. Like
It's very strange. It's very
you
strange.
have the implications of the supernatural, and then it goes the other way, and it was so. But there is it just. I was like, is this Phantasm? What's up with the balls? Like, I mean, what you got to bust his balls. What's going on here? Nicolas Cage was basically fucking Beetlejuice to correlate this in. He looked like fucking Beetlejuice. Like if he would have had a striped suit on, he would have been Beetlejuice. I'm like, we get Nicolas Cage as Beetlejuice in this movie. That's what this is.
Yeah, wait, hold on. So that one comment was Kevin Sex said something about the Phantasm film series. First of all, the first two are great.
Yeah.
After that, it goes to shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just reviewed that entire series last year. Ravager was like pieced together old footage and like some new they shot, and yeah, it was just oof.
Guys, I've never seen those movies.
I bought all of them. I love the first two. They're great, but
yeah, they're solid.
Yeah, it goes like to time travel, and it's just you got the space Jawas. I mean,
that's not what I thought you were gonna say.
No,
first I was like the space. Oh,
yeah, and then the last one just is completely off the rails and just unhinged. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm sorry, but it doesn't.
So much. There's the big flying space, the big ball that's just flying around like a planet and shit. It's weird. It's all out there and shit. It is. Those movies are batshit crazy. They were just like Coscarelli. I think he was. I don't fucking care. Just
and even then, like he didn't do the last one. I think he just wrote the last one.
No.
And he produced it. And that's it.
You guys we're talking about the horror stuff. I got to show you this because I had one of my channel members and longtime subscribers sent me 2 huge shipments for me and Trina, and I got the works of Clive Barker.
Nice.
Clive Barker's Dark World, and
Nice.
I'll show this again. Yeah, he sent me he sent one of these for me and one for Trina of each of the things in the box, and this is the second horror box he sent us. So we got that. And
nice.
Got Horror Unmasked.
Oh no!
Michael Myers. There we go.
Nice. They're thick.
Yeah. Oh, she thick, boy. She thick. even Hollywood Vader agrees to that. But yeah, so I like Hellraiser. Like I said, I'm getting Pinhead from like shoulder to elbow on my left arm. Like that's
nice.
Oh, just so you know, Pete, Clive Barker is going to be at a convention in Lexington, Kentucky called Scarefest.
When?
October, I think 17th and 18th, or that weekend in October.
Oh my god. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, he was just announced recently. That's what I'm telling you.
I just bought a bunch of his comics. I bought a bunch of Hellraiser comics.
Nice.
Those are freaking out there. Oh my god.
They're website I talk about.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, out there though, but really good read.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. The one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages, any foreign governments who may want to slide me a few stacks, feel free.
Well, there's this infinite money glitch here that I think, what is it, Chase Bank or somebody's doing, and apparently that's been working out for people really well.
I like that idea.
I did. I heard about that too.
I just won't update my software and keep using the glitch until my technology stops working.
Oh, that's been funny as hell. Seeing that all over the internet, and then all of a sudden reality hits people like Monday morning, and they're just like, "Oh well, I fucked up." I'm like, "Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did."
John Thomas, thank you very much. We're gonna read these super chats, Dion. Then I'll ask you about what you thought about Beetlejuice. John Thomas, thank you. He says Charlize Theron is believable as a badass. She did the Eon Flux movies.
Yeah, Eon Flux movies. Yeah.
Movie. Yeah, I didn't love Eon Flux. It was like
Yeah.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, like turning that to live action was weird because the cartoon was really good. I really enjoyed
Yep.
the cartoon, but turning it to live action was a mistake. It was entirely a mistake. It was just very strange.
I love all of Liquid TV.
It was just too early 2000s. It had potential, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't. She wasn't awful, and then I'll say that.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't her fault. It was just like them trying to make it into a live action movie was the problem. Like she did great. It was just that whole thing they were doing.
Yep, I need to check it out just for maybe a drunk watch, guys.
Yeah,
Isn't it? Doesn't it turn 20 next year?
God, let me check.
Yep, it does.
No, I think no. I thought 2022 was when it turned 20.
Oh, yeah, 05.
Oh, nice. You're right.
Because I remember watching a lot of wrestling and seeing that commercial every 5 minutes, like that part where she's about to fall on the blades of grass that turn into spikes or whatever.
Oh my God, that thing, yeah.
I don't
Or
think
was
I've
that
ever seen the
Ultraviolet?
movie. I've never seen the movie.
No, Ultraviolet is
I've never seen the show.
Ultraviolet is
way different and way
and it's Mila Jovanovic.
Mila
What's the rule,
Jovanovic.
Nick? What's the
Yeah.
rule, Nick?
I don't know what is the rule.
The rule is if Mila Jovanovic is in it, it's probably gonna suck. And
Yeah,
proof of that is Ultraviolet.
Is that her
Wait,
new
but-
name on the channel, Mila Jovanovic?
but
She's
we
no
can-
longer
we
Mila
can-
Jovanovic.
You can
Mila
counter.
Johnsonovich.
You can counter a bad movie with a good movie. Like, okay, so you said which one did you say, Dion?
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet. So you can say, was it Dazed and Confused? Even though she had a bit part, it's still a good movie. Or
Yeah.
another bad one she was in was any of the Resident Evil movies past part 1.
Thank you.
So I would say The Fifth Element, and that makes up for the entire series because The Fifth Element's runtime, I think, is pretty much the entire length of the Resident Evil series. It's a fantastic movie, though. It is. I love The Fifth Element. And Mila Jovovich
But it is long.
It is. It is a very.
A
It's
long
like
boy.
it's almost Scarface length. You know, that's 2 hours and 58 minutes. I've seen.
Yeah,
the movie
but
a
it's-
million times.
But I have the Fifth Element on 4K and I fucking love watching it all the time because it's so like there's so much going on in the frame all the time and the story does so well in like keeping you with it and everything and keeping you with what's going on in the in the frame and everything. I love it so much. One of my favorite movies watching one of my favorite movies as a kid when I watched it. I still love it.
And Zeus is president in it.
Right. That's right.
He's running around with his shoulder pads, doing the only wrestling move he knows,
Oh my
going like
God.
this, just hitting his chest. And then he was on the
And
he was on the Bible channel after that.
Oh my God. And I love that the population of Earth is 200 billion people.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well,
Holy shit.
They gotta stop us. Aurora Uplink, thank you for being a member for 11 months, almost a whole year. Aurora Uplink says, would you watch an intellectual Star Wars movie from the point of view of a command room, just a purely emotional, subtle character study amid a battle?
No.
I don't.
I'm sorry, but no.
No, I don't
No.
need elevated. I don't need elevated Star Wars. That's like elevated horror. It's just pretentious and it gets in its
God,
own
don't
way.
get me started on fucking elevated horror. Even that phrase, like I just can't fucking take
Yeah,
it.
I
seriously.
hate
Like,
it. It's
So
I
no.
won't
fucking
get you
stupid.
started. I promise.
so
No,
fucking stupid.
Nick, I'm right there
it'd be
with you.
interesting.
Yeah.
I love Crimson Tide. So if I could if it was like Crimson Tide, I'd check it out.
Or if it was like Spy Game, maybe like something like that was is kind of like
Well,
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
kind of
with
shit.
command, if he's saying command, he specifically means like a command bridge. I'm assuming.
Oh, okay,
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Like
like
maybe,
that.
so he means specifically, this is a ship. We ain't got no force powers. We're here to do some boring shit where Robert Redford is in it.
So he's
And
talking
we
about
can
all,
A
all
few of
those
those
motherfuckers-
movies work out.
the Vader
Yeah,
was
if it was
force
like
choking.
if
Oh
it
my
was
God.
Crimson Tide, Star Trek is kind of a quick reference for that type of show, is what I'm assuming he kind of means. So something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I could dig.
Yeah, but I feel like Star Trek could definitely pull that off more so because you know that universe, you know how it kind of works. Star Wars is kind of a little bit dirtier. You can't really do that in you can't really do that in Star Wars. You need the action to keep you kind of going.
You could set it from the point of view of the Empire. and you'd have the classy, sleek design of Star Trek, just the Star Wars version. But I just want anything that's not lightsabers and Jedis. Like, I'm tired of that crap. Like, flipping around, doing crap. It's like, it doesn't look good. And here's the thing. It really didn't look that cool in episode 1. We just kind of accepted it. It's like, why do they have Force
That's
running?
some wild ass shit to say. I'm gonna say that. Listen, don't get me wrong.
You thought the Force running looked cool? I thought that looked weird.
I think,
or like when they would randomly just fly up in the air.
I mean, listen. I think everyone is still very much hungover from the Acolyte, which I understand. But that internet, I get it. But I still want to see some Jedi and shit. Make it good. Let's not get crazy.
But that's all we get. That's all we get. Like every show, they started with the Mandalorian. It was solid. Then it had to get Jedi, Ahsoka, and Luke Skywalker, and all this lightsaber shit. You don't need to get rid of it, but you can make one thing that is bereft of any fucking Jedi. They're supposed to be dead. There's supposed to be none. Luke Skywalker's supposed to be coming back. He's the Jedi who returns, even though it's technically Anakin, metaphorically speaking. Like, come on. Like, we just keep adding new characters in there. And now the thing is, all they do is they just change the time period and tell you, it's like, oh, it's another Jedi story. Well, this one takes place 100 years before the last one. It's like, okay. Like, they're still the Jedi. I think the Jedi were cooler in theory and in the books than when we saw them on film. Like, did you want to be a monk walking around going, master this and that? Nah, man, I thought Luke Skywalker was a badass dude. He didn't even go in with his lightsaber. He had a plan. And when he needed to use the Force to pull the gun and go to shoot Jabba the Hutt, like, Jedi were way cooler. I'm glad Obi-Wan Kenobi got really cool by episode 3.
Bro, you are over the emotional spectrum. Like, you keep like convincing me, and then you say something. I'm like, I want more of that. So do we not want that, or do we want more of that? That's what I'm saying. Like,
no,
you letting the act cloud your judgment with the Force.
No, there's no judgment. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is the Jedi from Return of the Jedi was fucking cool. The Jedi that were created in episode 1 and everything moving forward have sucked, and they only make the Jedi the episode 1 versions on. So if it's the cool version where it's like a rogue dude where he's got a gun and a lightsaber and he's just kind of like a cool character, awesome. I don't want to watch a monk. I don't want to watch a guy live in a hut. I don't want to watch a dude fucking meditate for hours. This ain't a fucking kung fu movie. It's Star Wars. I want to see my heroes fly spaceships and save the day, not do this. Like,
now I propose
you've been hurt before. We get it.
If you want to take it, if you want to take it out of the Jedi and stuff like that, like I said, you could do a Star Wars horror, and you go back to The Empire Strikes Back. Everybody is basically gone from Hoth except the people that didn't make it out in the last transport. You've got about a dozen rebels and about a dozen stormtroopers who survived. And you have that room with all the Wampas. Remember that little deleted scene where the stormtrooper gets pulled in by the Wampa because C-3PO turned the sign that said, stay out, danger, whatever. Do a horror movie on Hoth. Literally, you can do this. Because you have no characters that matter. You could do it almost like Rogue One. Nobody survives. Like, you don't have to. You can, because you've got a bunch of just nameless, faceless rebels and stormtroopers, and they have to work together to survive after they kind of start initially. Dude, they start fighting initially, and they kill, a couple of each sides get killed off.
This movie.
And then the Wampas are out and loose, and they start picking these guys off. So they kind of band together, and they're trying to find some small light cruisers to get out of there. And there's so many of them, and then it turns into like betrayal. And you've got the horror aspect of the Wampas, picking them off, and they're fighting the elements as well, diminishing supplies and such. So you do that, and I guarantee you, that would be an amazing fan film for somebody to do. There, I just gave somebody a freaking idea, but no, that would be absolutely incredible to do that. That's a Star Wars horror movie. No Jedis, no Force, no Sith, no space lesbian witches going the power of one, the power of whatever, the power of Christ compels you. No, the Pine Sol lady was in Fear the Walking Dead. She was killing people with walkers on a stick, going, better get your Pine Sol, baby. And then she had a walker on a stick killing
Oh, that
perfectly
Michonne.
able-bodied people. Yeah, no, if she was fat Michonne, that was basically it. It was like alternate universe Michonne if she got heavy. But thank God,
If
Denai
she didn't become a
Guerrera.
Wakandan soldier.
Hey, I freaking love Denai Guerrera. I do. She was she's hot in that show too. I'm not gonna lie. Something about her badass with that katana. Just yeah. Anyway,
We all like different type. Really, all different types of ladies. I think we all have those. Like this
Back to
type
the-
and that type.
back
This
to the Hoth
conversation's always
horror.
fun.
Back to the Hoth
No,
horror.
no. That yeah, because like when you started Hoth and what you were saying, I was like, oh, this fucking tracks. Like all of it tracks. All
Yeah.
of it's within the universe, and it would definitely work. Yeah. I mean that. Yeah, they would never make that because they're Disney and they're pure and they're innocent and they want to have that whole thing go on. They would never do anything that would be brazenly artistic and so good like that. That's against what they do.
That's
Our friend Chuck E. Cheese, thank you, Chuck E. Cheese, for your generous super chat. He says, I wonder where a guy, an everyday Joe like myself, can find a little action. That is my I want to say it's my favorite scene from that movie. When that's I know the name of the song. It's called Harlot's Hangout. That specific song, I listened to it yesterday, actually. But I love when he starts dancing in front of that Dante's Inferno thing. They actually have a playset, Nick, of that coming out in a couple of months.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I'm buying it. It's for a NECA figure.
Okay.
But it's not little. It's NECA sized. And they even made the Beetlejuice from that one scene where he's got the spikes and shit coming out of him. So, I mean, I'm ready. Here's my wallet. Please just take my money, Beetlejuice boys. Chucky, thank you very much. I just love Beetlejuice. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Enrique asks, what about T2, Die Hard 3, or Lethal Weapon 2, 3, and 4?
Those aren't legacy sequels, though.
No, they're not. They're just
Die Hard. Okay. What is it? Dion's favorite movie. Yeah, Dion's favorite movie, Dark Fate, Die Hard 4, and then like the new Lethal Weapon would be a legacy sequel, because legacy sequel is something that comes in, I want to say, 10 years after the last one. More. Yeah, 10 years plus after the last one.
At least.
Yeah. That's a legacy sequel.
Hold on a second. By our definition,
Die Hard 4 wouldn't be.
Avatar 2 is a legacy sequel.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, I think it fits criteria.
I don't think it does either. I'm just saying by using that time frame as only a legacy sequel definition, I'm like, wait, no, that won't work. I think. I
mean, there are some exceptions to the rule. Obviously, like it's not a hard and fast rule, but
I know.
I'd
say I want to say over 20 years, but then Superman Returns is definitely a legacy sequel, but it's only 19 years old. So
yeah. That's why I picked 10 years, because 10 years isn't like a nice number.
I agree with that number.
Yeah.
But Enrique, I mean, hell, T2 came out 8 years after the first one, and then Lethal Weapon 2's 2 years later, then 3 is 2 years after that, right, Dion? And then 4 was 6 years, right? 98, 92, 98, or 93, 98. I love Lethal Weapon 2. That's my favorite one.
That's laser. That's a laser disc.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
The opening, though, to Lethal Weapon 3 with that Sting song is awesome. I heard that song a couple weeks ago again. I love that song.
Yep. Heck
yeah. Thank you, Enrique, though. I appreciate that, man. Jim Sterling and a Mankini says, the dump of Frankenstein. Big dump in Little China. Oh, yeah, Dion, the word of the day is dump or dumped. Trading dumps. Around the dump in 80 days. The hunt for red dump. Groundhog dump. And Forest Dump. I really like Forest Dump. That's like change a movie with one letter. Forest Dump. That's the winner.
Yep.
I think my favorite one of those of all time was from crack.com, where instead of Return of the Jedi, they took off the I and it was just the Return of Jed, and they had like Force Ghost Jed Clampett. That was the funniest.
That was good. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make us sound old for a minute. Do you think younger people even know what the Beverly Hillbillies were?
No.
Isn't that weird? Like, it's decades before we were born. Like, we're born.
But remember, we watched old TV as kids. There was Nick at Night. You had
and there was a
TV Land.
Yes,
that
there was.
movie.
There was a remake movie with Ernest
That's
as well.
a
Yeah,
guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah, Christy Swanson played Ellie Mae.
So these
Yep.
things happen in cycles,
Christy
baby.
Boner.
Not in the movie. It was that woman from Baywatch, Erica Eleniak. who
Oh,
played her
that's
in the
right.
movie.
That's right. I messed those two up.
And then we got Rob Schneider and Leah. I've seen the Beverly Hillbillies movie probably like 50 times. It's not a favorite movie, but there was a brief window of time where I had a stepsister and we watched that movie. We watched that, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, and a very Brady sequel. Like Dumb and Dumber the most. But those were the 4 movies. We watched those probably 50 times each together. We would just like watch those tapes repeatedly. We'd be like, let's watch it again. Whatever. But that is a guilty pleasure movie of mine. I'm not going to be ashamed. But Jim Sterling and a Mankini, thank you for all your dumps. Your dumps are greatly appreciated here on WCBS. Favor to God says the Minecraft movie will be dump. There we go. We'll change the word for you just because it's funny.
Yeah,
I saw make a trailer response and then I forgot to watch the trailer. Can we just assume it's going to be crap? It's going to be like Borderlands.
Yeah.
After watching the trailer, it's crap.
Okay. Now, Dion, I got to know, how does it feel with the impending countdown to the Minecraft movie, knowing that you're going to have to go see it because your kid loves Minecraft and you're going to have to deal with years more of this shit because of this movie? How does that make you feel?
Listen, it's a very prison-esque feeling. You know what I mean? But at this point, I'm institutionalized, baby. I'm institutionalized. So it's like, hey, I'm hoping they're just out of it enough that I don't have to. But I feel like I'm in prison. But hey, Jack Black and Steve.
Oh God, Jack Black's been in a lot of weird stuff lately, so I don't know.
He likes cashing them checks.
I
He
guess
needs money now. As a matter of fact,
no, actually, yeah. Jack Black was in.
Not needing money. He's like, yeah.
Wait.
Jack $1 million in my 401k.
Jack Black was claptrap in Borderlands.
Yep.
Yes, he was.
Oh my God! So then he's doing 2 video game movies that are going to blow.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, and he's
Goosebumps was
Bowser.
I love those movies. The 2 Goosebumps movies.
They're really good. I really enjoy
my
them.
son loves those. I've watched them so many times. The Jumanji movies he was in.
Those are good.
The new ones. I've seen those. I own them. My kids saw the Minecraft trailer and made me watch it with him. I didn't know Jack Black was in it. I still play Minecraft. That's like my jam at night when I just want to like basically unwind.
Minecraft has been around for a long time
because it's freaking relaxing as hell. But the movie, I was kind of like, I'm more excited for Sonic 3.
Yeah, I'm excited for Sonic 3 too. I ain't gonna lie, dude.
Man, the first 2 were bomb, brother. I love.
Dude. I saw the boys showed me the trailer. We all watched. I was like, oh shit, I'm excited for Sonic 3.
Yep.
I gotta catch up and watch 2, man. I'm late. I loved the first one, but I just never saw the second one.
Yeah, the second one's really good.
Is it almost as good as the first one?
I'd say the second one's better. I would.
The second one was really good. There was a lot. There was no. I don't think you lost anything in the second one. You know what I mean? Like, there's no dip in quality as far as that went. No, it was just as good and fun.
There's so weird to me.
There's no garbage in it. It's just a good, fun family movie.
That's what we need. And it still blows me away that like a Sonic the Hedgehog live action hybrid movie works as well as it does. Because this is the type of crap they would have tried to do in the 90s. And it would have been like Robin Williams and a puppet, and it would have been terrible. But in the 2000s, you're like, oh, it does work, and it looks cool. Like, I think the Sonic design looks better than the Mario movie design. Oh, that Sonic looked cool once they fixed him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
TLJ Screwjob, thank you. T dumping NT, aka 4 turtles, 1 cup. Gross.
I mean,
why? Just why?
That's a Saturday night back in 2012.
Yeah. That's when I came to visit you the most in Michigan.
Oh God.
No correlation. Just putting that out there. Information for the audience that they might want to know. John, thank you very much again for both of these very generous super chats. One thing, yeah, John, you have earned yourself. Well, not earned yourself, but you have sent in so many super chats that you have this for the audience. So, folks, you always send a little love to everybody who sends memberships. Send a little love to your friend John Thomas for all of his awesome support, because now...
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at sacrifice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning, because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 and a third chance, minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning, if we used to go one-on-one, and then add 66 and 2/3%, I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice.
Yes, they do, Samoa Joe. And thank you, John Thomas, for both of these. Also at Dragon Con, I got 2 of my books autographed by David Weber and Timothy Zahn. I also met a few new authors in some promising new sci-fi fantasy books. I loved Ultraviolet and Resident Evil movies because my future ex, Mila, is hot. Now, we're going to talk about all this stuff. He also says the one bad example from Dragon Con was at a Baen Publishing event. Next RM over, some blue hairs had something, walked past a few, and oh my God, I smelled better in the army a week into the field exercise.
Oh, jeez.
Thank you, people at Dragon Con. In Atlanta in general. It's called Hot Atlanta for a reason.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And like the 3 days we went, it was quite warm. Quite warm out there.
Yeah, well, somehow we didn't melt through our clothing.
Yeah. Well, we were very well hydrated, and inside as much as we could be. So it was.
Nick
it was
had
fun.
a Camelback backpack. And then you
I
had a
had
Yoda
to.
or Chewbacca backpack on top of that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, I had to, because I've done it before, and I was like, I'm not dying of thirst or dehydration at this fucking convention.
I was surprised how much water Dragon Con provided. Like every water station was full.
Yeah.
With fresh water and ice. Like I would watch people come up and fill these things constantly. I'm like, way to go.
Yeah, they don't want a lawsuit. They don't want people dying just because these nerds don't know how to drink water.
Now, I won't say a name for legal reasons, but I guarantee you a con that you and I met at, Nick, would never, ever put on that kind of, like, even something small like water for the people. They would never do that.
Oh, 100% they wouldn't. No, that convention in Ohio, they would never do that.
No. Or Indianapolis.
Or Indianapolis, yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe Columbus sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just move back to what we were talking about with John Thomas. Thank you, John, again. So when you said you had met a couple of new promising authors and stuff, I went and I met all the artists. So I'll tell you the great one in a second, but I met the creator of the Mystery Men, aka Flaming Carrot. And this is funny because Nick and I were on the highway. I got to Atlanta last Wednesday, so we had plenty of time to hang out, watch bad movies, and eat pizza before we went to the con. And on the way towards the downtown area, there was a small traffic jam because the Mystery Men car and the car from Twister were broken down on the side of the highway. And I'm like, is that the Mystery Men car? And you're just like, I think it is. And then we talked about how much we liked that movie for like 10 minutes. And so when I went to go meet the creator, I mentioned how much I liked the movie, and he goes, that movie's crap. And I'm like, oh, I think I struck a nerve. And he did not like the Mystery Men movie, but he was the nicest dude. He talked to me about Flaming Carrot and all these characters.
Yep.
Like 20 minutes. I was like, I was going to buy your book anyway because you're you. But he gave me the full sales pitch, and it was cool as shit. Like that guy was old school. Mad respect to Bob. Great meeting you, man.
Oh, yeah. Super nice guy.
the great inker Dexter Vines, who inked stuff like Marvel Civil War. He did the Death of Wolverine. He inked the Amazing Spider-Man Brand New Day with Steve McNiven pencils, as well as every other title I just named to you. Anyway, Dexter Vines was great. He was really a friendly dude. Because like some artists just are like, everyone's like, thank you, and smiles and is very polite. But this guy would keep the conversation going and answer the questions in the way I think he knew the fans wanted to hear. So it was cool to meet him too. But the man, the myth, and the legend, actually, at this point, he's all three of those things. Was he not, Nick?
100% he was. 100% he was.
I met Jim Steranko, the last great original Marvel artist to be alive. And this guy was incredible. Now, folks, if you don't know who Jim Steranko is, do yourself a favor and Google him. Should
I go get the picture, Jeff? Should I go get the picture and show everybody?
Yes, go get the picture real quick, Nick. Or no, wait, hold on. I'll just I'll go get it. Never mind. I was going to show just their digital version. But Jim Steranko worked on Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the guy that made Nick Fury the one we know from the comic, the espionage James Bond style, the suits, the women, the gadgets, the cars. That's all Jim Steranko. He had great runs on other books as well, but he's just an artist's artist. And he told us stories about one of his best friends, Lee Van Cleef, the actor from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Those stories were insane. He told us how he lost his finger. He told us all this other crazy stuff. And he just told us all these Hollywood stories. He even told us a story about how he had to act essentially as a spy in real life. And it was the coolest story ever because this guy knows how to just tell a story in every way possible. He can tell it on the page, he can tell it on the type page, and he can tell you in person. Nick can attest to this, Dion. We were on the edge of our seats. Everything this guy was telling us about this time he was a spy for Marvel, it was incredible. It was the crazy crap. And if you don't know the name, folks, Jim Steranko designed Indiana Jones. That image right there is the first picture of Indiana Jones ever crafted, and the subsequent 4 paintings he did for Steven Spielberg and George Lucas all almost look directly like Harrison Ford, and this was done 3 years before the movie, according to Jim. So we're talking like this guy was just legend, and he was so nice, no ego, kind as hell, answered any question, even if you had a silly one. Jim Steranko, man, and if everyone was as cool as Jim Steranko, well, Comic-Cons would actually be a lot more fun. But we didn't know him at all. But what did you think of the experience?
I thought he was great. I mean, we were, even though we wore like the comfiest shoes ever, we were standing there for 2 hours just hearing him talk about old Hollywood, telling us all the stories about old West actors he knew personally and he was partying with. I love when he mentioned about getting the phone call from George Lucas talking about his friend Steven. I'm like, who else would he be talking about?
Yeah, because he goes, who the fuck is Steven? And he goes, Steven Spielberg. I'm like, I just started laughing. Like, I wasn't laughing in his face, but man, that was a great day.
Yeah. And then him referring to the guy who ran Marvel as Mr.
Goodman.
Mr. Goodman, still after he had died so long, I was like, that's respect. That's a lot of respect there, So no, just hearing him talk about, back then when things were different and, I guess, in their heyday, it was great. It was wonderful hearing it. I would have loved to hear 2 more hours of him talking about that stuff.
Yep. Nick, if we ever go to a con that he's at, we'll just go start asking him to follow up the Lee Van Cleef stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go.
He'll be like, oh, you did meet me. Yeah, I did, man. It was cool. But yeah, John, that is what I got signed at Dragon Con. I got a signed version of that print to me.
Yeah, yours is in a nicer place. I just wanted to show mine because it didn't have the signature on it. So
I was like, because it was like $50 to get it signed. I'm like, who gives a shit? It's Jim Steranko. I was like, This is like, because here's the thing. I had a chance to meet Stan Lee and I had a chance to meet Adam West and I didn't do it. And I still kick myself. So every time I get a chance to meet somebody like this, you go for it. But, Dion, I picked up something at Dragon Con you'll love. Hold on. I'll be right back because this is important. You'll love it. Nick saw it.
Now I am incredibly tantalized to hear.
Yeah, and yeah, like I was showing, like I told Jeff, like the vendor area is 4 floors of a building. That's how big the vendor area is.
Yeah, it was huge.
I-
So Dion,
massive.
check
I
this
would
out.
spend a lot of money there.
You really would. You
I
very
would
much
spend
would.
a lot of money there.
Oh yeah,
This
there we
is
go.
a-
There we go.
This is a Beverly Hills Cop 2 press packet from 1987.
Oh shit!
Inside of this printed and branded folder that features Eddie Murphy's face, because I'm a nerd. Here, hold on, let me give myself the full screen. Yeah.
Dude.
It's got all of these the stills that they would send out to magazines. So it's all of them. You get stuff
even got
with deleted scenes. I'm trying not to put my fingers all over them right now, folks. But yeah, these are insane. And to be completely honest, I kind of bought it because the folder was cool as shit. And I was like, I would pay $40 for an official Beverly Hills Cop folder.
Oh,
but
God, yeah.
yeah. That was my big Dragon Con purchase. And then this comic book store had a vendor's booth and they were selling their action figures for $5, Dion.
Mm-hmm.
I got hundreds of dollars worth of action figures for $40 because they were all about $40 each. They just, I asked them like 3 times, did I not, Nick? I was like, are these all $5? Are these all $5? I kept asking to make sure that it wasn't a mistake or I wasn't taking something from another box.
Right.
I don't want to be that guy. But I'm like, as I'm picking these up, we're talking original Marvel Legends, Doctor Doom, and Namor in the original clamshell. Like, I'm like, well, that's bingo. That's money. That's money. Hell, I even bought one for Nick. I got him John Constantine.
Oh yeah,
that's Hellblazer style. So
yeah, that's on my table.
John, that was my other highlight of Dragon Con was hitting the jackpot. And I also bought a theatrical Wayne's World poster because when I get a house, I'm going to I'm going to put it in my basement.
Oh yeah. That booth, yeah, they're there all the time. They have a bunch of cool movie stuff there, and it's all official. It's all official.
Yep, I'm very happy with this. God, I love Wayne's World.
Good haul, big dog.
Yeah, man. I wish you were there. You got to join us next year, buddy.
For sure, man. I gotta.
Yeah, it's just it's a fucking trek across like 4 hotels.
Now, Nick, without saying it on air, Dion would have enjoyed the way we went to Dragon Con, if you know what I mean.
Oh, 100% he would have, because I feel like that was the best way to go to Dragon Con.
Told you, some things I did learn in California were worth it.
yeah. I'm glad we kept that atmosphere around us the whole time. Let me say that.
It helped me get through a lot of stupidity. Do you remember that stupid vampire thing we walked into by mistake?
Yeah, that was my bad. That was because like it was part of the horror track, and they had like it said vampires. I was like, okay, I'll go check out. Maybe it's about the lore or vampires movies or whatever. And it was about the show, like Interview with the Vampire. And I was like, we need to fucking leave.
Oh
it was
no!
Like, no guy should have been in that room, Pete.
Oh
yeah,
no!
Because we were there for 5 minutes. I'm just like, fuck, we need to leave.
I was like, we need to leave. You went, can we actually get up? Or are we going to cause a scene? I'm like, just get up and go.
There was no like hot goth vampire mommies in there, nothing like that. That's like
no.
That's
what do you think
depressing.
about it?
No.
They're cat ladies who watched The Craft in high school.
Yes, exactly. That's who they were. That's who they were.
That's the age range we're talking about.
And every night they turn on that show, and
so by then they've all had hysterectomies and shit, right? Like,
yeah.
They all dried it. Never mind. They're perimenopausal and shit.
Oh god, but we did go to the film track. There was a movie room that would constantly show movies throughout the whole weekend, and we watched like bits and pieces of stuff to kill some time.
The thing is, dude, I was so on board with every movie we watched. I thought we were staying for the whole movie. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm down to watch Battle Los Angeles, or I'm down to watch War of the Worlds, 1950 version.
Yeah, that's
like,
version.
I was into it.
Yeah,
hey, Dion, you gotta come down, man, because we gotta get you and Kendo down for that. Just the 4 of us doing exactly the way we did it, Nick, in the same state of mind.
Yeah.
Wander the streets of Atlanta.
I can dig it.
Yeah,
Better
and like
stuff.
and like the good thing is, well, like we parked every day, and we had our own car, so we didn't have to worry about getting an Uber, a taxi, or a shuttle or whatever. We just drove back, and that was it. Yeah, it was good. Because I know the rooms go up for next year this October. Everybody's gonna grab them in one day, but usually, I think I talked to somebody and they said the rooms this year were like $3,000 for the 5 days.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're sleeping on the floor at my place, it's still more comfortable than that.
I had a bed because Nick's place is baller.
Yeah.
Nick, your guest bed is nicer than my bed. I'm gonna upgrade. Like I have a king size bed, but I need like.
Well, I had certain requirements when I got this place. Like if I have to have a guest bed, it has to be fucking comfortable. It can't be just like a shitty guest bed. It has to be like a nice one. It can't have like subpar shit anymore. I'm sorry.
You did not. That was awesome. I woke up and I was like, all that back pain I had is gone. Oh yeah, my bed sucks. Bro. That's what I'm gonna do after I ship out Woke Busters. I'll be like, all right, it's time for a new bed.
Yep.
That's a smart purchase.
If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. We're all at that age.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's starting to show up a lot more. I can feel it all the time. It's like, oh god.
I just don't know how we kept going the way we did though at Dragon Con. It was just like we were up early the next morning. We were like, let's go.
Well, it was because of the atmosphere, Jeff. The atmosphere. That's what brought us.
I really like Snoop Dogg. That was the right atmosphere to go with. The right mood, Snoop Dogg. The Olympics were Ray Gun. See, we're tying it all together. We did it. It's like Kibbles and Bits, only different.
Yeah, I feel like that's how we got through it.
For you, Dion. Toronto John, thank you very much for your generous super chat, and thank you for this one because it's funny. Beetlejuice. That's right. I summoned a red supergiant star in the constellation of Orion. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Oh God.
But say thanks. There we go. The Duxon, 1977. Great year. I just came back from seeing Beetlejuice 2, and it was great. People were laughing at the jokes and loving loving the music. Dion, what did you think of the movie, sir?
I mean, I liked it. I did like it. It given what it was, I enjoyed it. It was in terms, especially in terms of a kind of a last minute thing. It was close enough to the original where it was still enjoyable for sure.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I loved it. I was so surprised by how funny it was. Like, here's a spoiler, folks, without being an actual spoiler, so don't worry, I'm not going to go into detail, but like Beetlejuice gives a recapping of his life before he was dead, but he does it in like Italian.
Yeah.
Like he dubs it and the audio quality sounds like a 1950s movie. It's like so funny because it comes out of nowhere. Like the microphone comes down, he just starts speaking Italian. You're like, what the hell? And that whole scene's great. And I won't tell you about it because you might be listening like, I don't really feel like clicking away. Don't worry. I'll be cool about it. But like I could not stop laughing. Like that scene where he's in the graveyard playing the guitar, looking up at Lydia from the model. Again, like the imagery.
Hilarious. Fucking hilarious.
Yep.
You got called out by Clone Geek who says Dion's energy about Beetlejuice 2 is lesser than that of the Crow reboot.
No, the Crow was definitely less. I genuinely liked Beetlejuice. I had a good time, for sure. Now the last 30% of the Crow, last 25% of the Crow, I like that part.
No,
I love that.
I think we broke our show. Look, as long as you had a good time, that's all I care about. I also had a great time myself. And folks, like I said, I don't think I have anything new to add to the conversation. Go watch the review. Check it out. If you're a member, because of all the generosity of tonight's show, we have all these new members. So folks, go check out some of that bonus content. I'm going to be adding a lot more. Check out all the new WCBS stuff. We have some help. It's great. So we're moving.
Oh,
forward.
dude! Apparently, I can pick up the Beetlejuice animated series at Walmart curbside tomorrow.
How much?
Nice.
$24.12.
I think I will get a copy myself.
I'm
It's
gonna
not-
pick that
it's-
up. Damn.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm just like, and I mean, it's on DVD, which I'm fine with. It's a cartoon. It's okay. But that's not bad. That's not bad.
They had the whole G.I. Joe one in Voltron and Transformers, which I need to pick up too, because I've got like Masters of the Universe and Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles. So yeah, I'm slowly like picking all those up because me and the boy watch those. Like those are fun shows. The old animation is like I want to get the Tales from the Crypt animated series too.
Oh
like
yeah, that's a good
I
one.
I
Tales from the
watched
Crypt Keeper.
those. Like, yeah, a couple years ago, I watched an episode. I was on another podcast, and we did one episode of the live show and one episode of the animated series. And I'll do the live show periodically on my channel. Those episodes, by and large, hold up, whereas the animated ones, they're still fun nostalgia, but it just, yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. It wasn't terrible. It was still, like I said, fun for the nostalgia purposes. It was nothing that was like offensively bad, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, and it's funny because the color of the cartoon is like that of the 1960s comic as well.
The color scheme's okay.
Yeah, the color scheme. Yeah, and I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid as well. I remember it was on like ABC, and I think that one actually. Okay, Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Yeah, is the animated one. It's all on Tubi as well. Our favorite VOD platform.
Yes, it is, Nick. Let's get
Everything's-
sponsored by Tubi.
Everything's on friggin' Tubi.
Oh,
It
God.
is, man. Like
Yeah.
Beetlejuice will be on Tubi next week. So I heard.
Joke.
Dude,
Jeez.
Borderlands is about to be on streaming in like what 15 days record time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Them and Fall Guy had record time to streaming.
Did Borderlands lose more than the Marvels?
No, it actually wasn't a big flop because it was pre-sold mostly.
Okay, I didn't know how much if it lost because I knew it got horrible reviews, but I had nothing like invested in the series. I've never played the game, so I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it. You know, it's not something that is really for me. So I'm not. You know, I just kind of paid attention to the hype surrounding the release, I guess, as it were. And yeah, it didn't sound too good.
Hey, Clone Geek, who's Mr. Slapnuts in this movie? Does he mean Justin Theroux?
Yeah, I think so. Because
Yeah, I think that's fair.
yeah,
he
that
gets
sounds.
okay. He gets his comeuppance.
Yep. That's a way to put it for sure.
I would.
I have one question about Beetlejuice, the new one.
Yeah.
How did they work around Jeffrey Jones' absence?
He's in it
Did they?
technically.
Well, okay.
Charles is in it,
Okay,
Charles.
and
Yeah.
they showed Jeffrey Jones's face.
Did
they?
they?
They show his face on like a tombstone.
Yeah, that's what that was, which is
Okay.
a shark's fin.
Yeah, and then they have a
blew
claymation. They have a claymation version of his face, but you can tell it's him. Like even like it's very
Yeah.
smoothed out, and they kind of like almost make it not, but you can tell like it's him.
But he gets eaten graphically by a shark. So if anyone's like, oh man, they put Jeffrey Jones in there to make him look good, he gets eaten by a shark. And then the rest of the movie, he's like a body with like this all bitten out. And like every time he talks, blood spurts out of where his spine would be. It's really funny. And the nice part was like all that stuff in the real world is nasty, but
Yeah.
you can't just have the character disappear because they
Right.
all were like, we're going to pull a Henry Jones Sr. Oh, he died in between movies. That's the laziest shit. So this one at least had a story because Delia's arc is about returning to Charles and never stopping loving him even after, being alive. So it's, you had to have him in there, and it doesn't glorify the dude. It literally, if you're like, oh, that guy's trash, well, you get to watch him be eaten by a shark. The one time you see a facsimile of his face, it's awesome. And it's not like kind either. It's very overly gory. He's the only overly gory character.
Yeah. It's overly gory, and it's very much like he gets taken out immediately. Like, yeah, it's
Okay, I was just kind of wondering about that. If they like,
that No, that was my thing as well. Cause like I watched the movie, yesterday, Wednesday. And so that was my thing. I was like, this is weird. And I wonder like, did he get repaid for it? There was a contract thing? Like what happened like financially? Like that's my kind of thing, but I don't know. I can't say.
I mean, maybe it's worked out in like a residual deal with like the original video. I don't know how this shit works. I'll ask Script Doctor next week.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Galactic Star Boozers has said Jones still gets paid. I guess he would because they're using his likeness technically, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
I don't.
Good question.
That is, yeah. Script would probably know that, Jeff. Absolutely.
Yeah, folks, join me on Tuesday where I'll ask Script Doctor the hard questions like, how does that work? There you go, folks. That's all I'm going to tell you about Tuesday. In a minute, we're going to tell you about Concord, the super amazing video game that is the Borderlands of entertainment, where it's just going to disappear quickly. In, 2 weeks, it'll be gone?
Oh, no, it's gone already. It's gone already.
Yeah, it was this week it was going to get shut down. They're taking off Steam.
Yeah, dude, it's here and there. Like, just blink and you miss it.
Now, let's read these two messages and we'll start talking about Concord. Enrique Vasquez, thank you very much, my friend. Speaking of age, my baby kid groans when he picks up something. I didn't realize that he was mimicking me when I pick up something. Attention, please. Oh,
The way to do it.
Dion, do you ever troll? Do you like that?
Yeah, I've used that same method.
Oh, God.
Here's those requests you have.
You had enough yet?
No.
That's another one.
So?
You just say the word, I'll keep going.
Go.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Mo.
Your mother was a...
Ho.
He was a famous clown.
Bobo.
Mitch, cut it out. Cry me a river, dick face.
There we go. How do you guys feel about the circles? Does it work now that there are 4 of us? Is it weird?
The circle is now complete.
Yeah, let's see how we look circles with there we go. Folks in the chat, tell us what you like. Do you like circles? Not talking about this, we're talking about this. Or you can get squares. We can get rounded squares like we currently have, or we can get the rounded rectangle, or we can go back to the sharp edge. I'm gonna go around.
Is that something new on StreamYard?
Yeah, what happened is if you pay like for their premium membership, they added a new tier, and until they recharge you, it's gone up a lot, which I'm not renewing at this tier.
Yeah.
It's like $80 a month now.
Yeah, I'm at like 50. So it's like I didn't know what tier it was at. I was like, oh, okay, you can change because I noticed you did that earlier, but I didn't want to ask on the air. Now that you brought it up, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just ask him. But okay, because it's kind of neat,
Octagons. I wish we had octagon choices. The Brady Bunch squares. We do look like them. Dun, 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 dun. You like rounded rectangles, says Dr. Coffin Nails.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Marsha.
Oh, man.
So
sure, Dan.
We'll do circles until Dion gets back. I should just sit closer for the circle. There we go. Hi, friends. It's me. So let's look at tonight's docket, shall we? Because I just forgot what we were going to say. Okay, here we go. Concord. So, folks, I wrote a synopsis for you guys. So, because the guys were like, just in case they didn't know what was up. And for those out there who don't know, the 5 of you. So, Concord is a video game. And according to what I researched, it was anticipated. It was a very anticipated title, marketed as a groundbreaking space-themed multiplayer shooter. So it was promised to revolutionize live service gaming, which is the first problem. Folks, friends don't let friends play live service games. Pass that along. They're the worst idea possible. I'd rather pay my $65, $70, give me my game, I'm good to go. DLC shouldn't be mandatory for a story, but that's the topic for another time. So they were going to make this game crazy, but when it launched recently, and I mean very recently, everybody hated it. There was harsh criticism. It was shallow, repetitive. It lacked innovation, and there was nothing really to offer beyond a few uninspired missions. There were server issues, glitches, poor performance, and it just kind of ruined the early experience. So after that, the player base, they were essentially alienated, and the multiplayer audience was barely there too. So here's where it gets good though, because there's a lot of fallout. And let's see, it all happened very swiftly. So the studio issued statements promising updates, but the damage had already been done. The game's reputation quickly tanked as players sought refunds and sales plummeted. Critics pointed to the game that had been rushed, leaving fans feeling betrayed by the overhyped marketing campaign. We've all seen those before. What was once seen as potential blockbuster became a commercial failure and a cautionary tale about the dangers of overpromising without delivering. Ultimately, Concord will be remembered not for its ambitious ideas, but for its inability to meet expectations, joining the ranks of major gaming disappointments in history. So we're 2 weeks, right? It's been 2 weeks and the game's gone. Is that a new lap record?
I think so. I honestly think so because like it just came and went, and it did so poorly, and it was just terrible all around. And people are saying that people are blaming that it was woke or whatever like that. But the thing is that they were charging for a game that's like Fortnite and Apex Legends and things like that that's free, and that was the problem. Like nobody wanted to pay for it.
According to Steam, it has a 6 out of 10, but according to Google, 4% of players like this game.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was terrible. The whole thing just crashed and burned epically.
Most had 600 players.
Oh yeah, it was just terrible.
This also, like, this is the first row of images that pops up. This is one of the images, like. That lady looks
she looks like so much fun to play with. Oh my god.
She looks like the lady from Night Court got a power suit boost.
She's gonna lecture you on freaking social equity while you're trying to play a freaking battle royale style game. Like, no, blue hair, go away. I guarantee
you ain't gotta be weird about it.
I guarantee you under that helmet, half her head is shaved and her hair's dyed purple. Like,
yeah, man. Corporations thinking that's what's popular, man.
And we have another example, Dion, of it not being, which goes to show you it's stupid. It's a waste of money.
Yep. Don't trust Twitter and retweets. It's a bad idea.
So here's this guy. He looks like an 8 mixed with the Vision, which is
that's
fine.
Exactly what he fucking looks like. Oh my god.
But it's just really unsettling how he looks just like the Vision 8.
Yeah.
Vape.
But that's terrible.
This is what happens. I mean, we've all lived through overhyped games. Like, what would you say in the chat and you guys? What do you think is a really overhyped game that didn't deliver? Like that you were just like, man, this is a huge disappointment. Now, Dion, I know you've had a lot of those over the years because we've been friends for a long time, and I've watched you firsthand get so pissed off because a game you were excited for that you read the magazine of when they printed books, or you were reading on a website, or on your little, was that the Juke, that phone you had that connected to the internet barely? Like, all those ways that you consumed video game content back in the day, you would get so pumped for these games, and then they would suck, and you'd be like, God damn it. I'm sorry that you had to go through those so many times.
Hey, man, welcome to the punch, kid. That happens all the time, but yeah, man, this was a nice, I should say, hefty reminder to the industry itself. But yeah, this stuff happens more often than people want to remember. But at the same time, this is probably the most expensive version of it, at least that I can remember. I mean, it is absolutely insane.
You're right, Mikey. Cyberpunk was bad, but you can go back to it. I try to temper expectations with gaming in general because, like, the last generation was fine, but it was like I was really pushed out into like a few licensed games and a few games here and there. Maybe it's just where I am in life, but there are some great games out there, but there's a lot of like samey looking games, and this Concord looks a lot like Marvel or Fortnite or any of these like generic, bright, colorful games. They're all the same to me. And that's why when people go on about like first-person shooters are great, I love them. GoldenEye is my favorite video game. But like modern first-person shooters, they kind of all look the same. Like they just have a different skin swap, and I'm like, why do people play different ones? It's just
well, because the new Call of Duty's come out, Modern Warfare 18.5, and then you have to buy that and then buy all the stuff for it, and because if you try to actually grind through it and get the stuff through merit and through skill, it doesn't work if it's just easier to buy it. It's way easier to buy it.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That's just
what is that Trailblazer from the new Warriors?
That's what it looks like.
No, man,
like
it's Diabito from Family Guy. These character designs are kind of dumb,
generic as hell, man. It's just, and then it's like, it's they tried to tap into a market that they were sure was there, and they at most got 600 people to play.
The modern audience, right? That's what they were going for. The modern audience that doesn't exist.
No, they exist, and it was about 1,600 of them. Oh, sorry, 600 of them, and that's it.
Exactly.
Not enough to make a dent in anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know how they feel. I'd like to be a fly on the wall right now. I would like to be the fly on the wall before the game launched and hear them like so confident and like so excited. And I'd like to hear their like internal decisions for some of these choices that people were making fun of. And then I'd just like to see their faces drop when they're like, oh, how many people are playing? 600. What, this minute just joined? No. Ever. Like, that's gotta be the
peak.
Well, and also this, like, the gaming industry suffers from the same thing that the Hollywood industry suffers from. You like, whenever higher ups ask somebody an opinion, you just get yes men, because the thing is that everybody's afraid to give their honest opinion, because if you give it to the CEO or some megalomaniac boss you have, you'll probably get fired. So they don't want to rock the boat or say, hey, this sucks, you might want to change it, because the minute you do that, they'll be like, oh, your opinion doesn't matter, you're just a grunt, go back to coding. Like, that's what's going to happen. And then I feel like that same thing happens in Hollywood, and that's why we keep getting like the same shitty movies by committee with the checklist of all the stuff we have to do before we even get to the story. And that's what's happening. People just want to keep their prestigious jobs of being like, oh, I work in the gaming industry or I work in film. But this is what happens. You just get, this crap over and over again.
I've only heard about this game after it failed, so it wasn't on my radar for any of the right reasons. Oh my god, is this Granny Goodness? I guess the beta, it was a flop too in the beta, according to that Park Place. So,
oh my god, if your beta fails, why would you keep going then?
Because everybody needs to play as Grandma Purple Lady. I don't know. This looks so dumb.
This is Duchess. Let's see. We've already had Vice Admiral Gender Studies, so this is like, I don't know. What is this? I don't know. What is this Duchess Diversity? I don't know.
What is it? What is it? AAPI or AAPPI, whatever the heck it is.
AARP, the old people.
There you go.
Here we are.
There you go. There you go.
I gotta say,
my glass is getting bigger. I'm gonna end up on AARP already, and I'm not even old enough yet. I look like Uncle Junior from the frickin' Sopranos. Jesus,
you have George Romero
driving a car
on,
anymore.
I do.
Yeah, I don't think the
I
design
got
of
some
CONCORD
my
helps.
nose.
I really do hope that entertainment in general just stops trying to design crap that people don't want. Like, we have the numbers multiple times now. Anybody that follows this even slightly gets it. Stop making these characters look stupid. It doesn't matter about having a certain skin color. Stop making them look doopy. Like, nobody wants to look at some weird lady in a rotund suit of armor. That doesn't look cool. Like, if you're going to make her look like CCH Pounder, at least put her in something cool. Like, all the characters look like shit based on the images I'm looking at, man. This guy looks like Sean Gunn. This other one looks like a kid in a Lego helmet. I don't know, but they don't look cool or original. This looks really lazy. This looks like the Orange Box, the Team Fortress. It just looks like it's trying to be Team Fortress but modernized.
Yeah,
Mikey, you're right. It just all looks off. I don't care about anything else besides this looks like crap, and it was going to fail no matter what. So there you go, folks. That was Concord. What do you guys think? I want to know what people have been saying about this. It just, how long until another gaming collapse? If you think about it, these games cost hundreds of millions of dollars and then they go away quickly. I know Sony makes more than just video games, but I believe the PlayStation is their biggest department currently. How much more can you afford to support these terrible games? You're going to have to really vet your stuff, which is going to suck because they won't. What they'll do is they'll just quickly move to Call of Duty, which will have the money to be like functional, and it'll be what the people want. Like, it's comfort food for gamers, and you may not like Call of Duty or you may like Call of Duty. I feel like our audience is kind of a blend. Like, you may have the dudes that are out there doing it, or you might have Halo people. Dion, you're Call of Duty, right?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played the last 2 games, but yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, I guess you could say that.
I used to be. I bought excuse me. I had the first Black Ops. I had the Cold War one that came out a couple years ago, I believe. But I also play Halo and all that other crap too.
Yeah, me and my brother were big into it, man. We got the ridiculous packs that had the extra stuff in it. I think one time we got the flying drone and the little C4 car and stuff in those packs. It was a lot of fun. But after a while, it just got, they were all just, they were all just the same FPS. We liked them, but we never got the crazy deluxe packs anymore. We just got the regular games after that because there's no need to.
No. They're all repetitive, but the thing is, the only point I was trying to make is that they're all functional. Like, they're not stupid, and they know what their audience wants. They always look great graphically. They look the same, realistic, but kind of not. And with the new one on Game Pass, I'm going to indulge and play it myself. I almost feel like admitting to want to play Call of Duty is kind of like, I don't know, evil or something. Or like, it's just, I don't know, it feels taboo. It's like, oh, I like Call of Duty. You're like, oh, you're not a real gamer. It's like, I get it. I don't care about
I'm too old for that shit. That's that old world bullshit, or you're too young to know how dumb you are. You still, people who still think that. I'm at the point like, if I buy a game and it happens to be Call of Duty, bitch, I'm gonna play it. You're not a real gamer. Yeah, well, you're 100 pounds lighter than me. Shut up. You know what I mean? So like that type of shit. Who cares about that anymore?
Listen. You're only a real gamer if you had to blow into the cartridge to get it to work. That's how you're a real gamer. Okay, I'm sorry.
Exactly. We grew up in them days. Don't get me wrong. Call of Duty ain't ever gonna be my choice for game of the year. You know what I'm saying? Unless they do some wild stuff. But man. That's
when you had to. When you had to play Oregon Trail on a 5.5-inch floppy and put it in the computer and go ka-chunk, and then like type things, and it was just a green and black screen. That's how you know you're a real gamer.
Shoot.
There you go, Pete. There you go, Pete.
The war games era.
I'd start the computer up. It was like, do you want to play a game? I'm like, what the? I've seen this movie. Nope.
Well, Pete, lots of people want to play lots of games, but nobody wants to play Concord. Is the moral of the story.
See, that's it.
Dude, it was.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah. We only heard of it because there were 18 articles about it this morning about how hard it failed.
It's like, hey guys, why doesn't anybody want to play as a potato-shaped character in a power suit with purple hair? Why? Why? I can't. No, who could have foreseen this chain of events unfolding in such a manner? Nobody.
It all started 10 years ago. A little event. We won't even name it. You know what I'm talking about. What happened 10 years ago? Nick and I met. No. Everybody remembers the OG Sarkeesian and all that era of crap. This is the reflection of that. It's like, this is that reality where Biff won and is corrupt and powerful and married to your mother. Like, all right, well, the lady's got a voice in all the design elements. Then you get Concord. We'll just all go play something else.
That's a very 10 years ago way of looking at it, and that's a part of it, But the reason why Concord sucked is one, it ain't, and I get it. That's the visual thing and the easy thing to pick up on. The hair thing, I get it. The reason why the game didn't lose $100 million just because it was that. the reason it lost $100 million because it took a decade to come out, number one. And yeah, they skinned it in that as a way to sell the game, but there was literally nothing in it. So this ain't an episode of some goofy ass internet show where, oh man, they were caring about the DEI, blah 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 blah. No, it was a corporation. It was a corporation who skinned it in that shit, and they tried to make a plug and play video game to a group of people, and it didn't work. So, don't get me wrong. I get it. Everybody needs clicks, bang, 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 purple hair. It's funny. We giggle, but it was a corporation losing. Anita Sarkeesian lost her shit. That's a decade ago. This was a corporation who tried to essentially do what a lot of people in hip hop know as an industry plant. This was Ice Spice. I get it. It looks weird. You guys are in your 30s. I get it. You're in your 30s. It was a corporate plan. Get past the other shit. We get it. We're in our 30s. They made a move and they bet a lot of money on that gamers were dumb. And they lost, it took 10 years. They wasted $200 million. It ain't a bit about listening to Anita Sarkeesian. They thought they had a Nick Saban.
What I'm saying is the game industry reflects what happened 10 years ago now.
But it's deeper than that, is what I'm saying. It's a lot more.
I'm not disputing that it's deeper than that, but I'm saying like the game journal, like this. I am a firm believer that games aren't really marketed to gamers. They're marketed to the people who review the games because their word gets the Metacritic score and all these things that roll. Of course, you want your audience to play, but they want these games to be talked about a certain way. Go interact with the comments, go interact with the stuff. It's a very weird, like cult-like mentality. There's a couple different types of gaming communities, but a lot of these weirder games all try to appeal to the certain type of journalist. And that's all a reflection of what happened all those years ago. It's all a clusterfuck. I don't think gaming is as safe as people say it is. Oh, it's $1 billion industry. Yeah, it is $1 billion industry, but you got $100 million failures and you got crap that people aren't buying. You had failed consoles like the Stadia over the last couple of years. You're moving into other realms with gaming and pirating and ROMs. There's so many different things with gaming that's kind of hurting the core experience. And you talk about the corporations, they're the worst ones. Xbox isn't in the best place right now. PlayStation isn't in the best place right now because the companies that run them really don't know. Okay, actually, they're greedy. A lot of gaming sucks because they're trying to support an old console and not push people to buy a new one. So gaming has no innovation. Therefore, it's not as exciting or enticing. If you look back on our childhoods, we were all born in the 80s. From the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo was a noticeable jump. From the Super Nintendo to the 64 was crazy. And then the GameCube was a nicer, cleaner, more exciting version of that. But we lived through, and it just keeps getting more refined. But we lived through all those big jumps because there was a need to innovate. Now there's no need to innovate. There's no need to do anything. The problem with this fucking game, too, is it looks like 10 other games. You say it doesn't work, it isn't populated. That's a problem, too. But if you're like walking down an aisle and there's like 15 different versions of cornflakes, why would you pick, this one over that one? You just, you get the one it's all bullshit. Like this hype around this everything. That news cycle definitely works, definitely gets people talking, but it is not this game ain't shit. I was ending like this. I don't fucking care anymore. This game ain't shit. Let's move.
I mean,
what was it? 8+ years to code it, to make it, to have it come out is just ridiculous. It's just entirely ridiculous.
That's
the whole
fantastic.
process was a cluster from the jump.
To the chat, I still do play third-party games quite a bit. I don't like PlayStation exclusives. I loved God of War back in the day, but the last two didn't really look appealing to me, so I didn't jump in. And then Horizon Zero Dawn's fine, but it's just like flashy Zelda with a flying dragon. I like Zelda already, so that's why I picked that box of cornflakes.
I re-downloaded the Evil Dead game and I've been playing that a lot, so I'm getting back into that.
I will get on there and play with you one of these days.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of fun.
Dion, 3 out of 4 bullshitters have Xbox Series X. Just saying.
I might have to give in to the peer pressure. I just, Just say,
Because I would just
forget it.
suggest you do one thing. If you do buy your Xbox, just get Game Pass. Because you'll find that you'll have a ton of games at your disposal, and it's not the perfect system. I'm not going to act like Game Pass is the coverall, but if you're trying to get into a lot of first-party games, they'll always be there. And it's like, oh, you've never experienced Gears of War? You're paying for your subscription? Play it. Oh, you want to play Halo with Nick and I? It's included. Like it's a weird gaming economy, but I like it, and I use it a lot, so I feel like I get my money's worth out of it.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our friend John Thomas says, was Beetlejuice actually Johnny Dangerously? I like that movie. You guys see that one?
I did not see it yet. I heard it was fun. I heard it was really fun.
That's a Michael Keaton classic. Like, it's not as good as Mr. Mom because it's a little too weird.
Oh my god, I've seen this cover forever. I've never seen this movie.
Yeah, I saw it as a kid on cable.
Damn, I need to check it out.
Pete, you really are looking like Junior Soprano. I'm sorry. I just looked over at you and I'm like, oh no.
It's the beak, bro. It's the beak. I'm gonna accidentally shoot my nephew Tony. I'm just kidding, YouTube. I don't have a nephew Tony.
Nor do
Not yet.
Speaking of good Michael Keaton movies, watch Founder from 2016. Where he plays
that's a good one.
Holy shit, man! He's like if you it's funny because like him acting like an evil, like greedy asshole, like he does it very well, and it's just like very convincing in that movie. It's so good.
Xavier to God, thank you for both of these. Best era of Call of Duty was 2009 to 2012 with Modern Warfare 2, World at War, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, my favorite, and Black Ops 2, the best Call of Duty. Yeah, I'll second that.
Agreed.
What happened?
Question.
Whatever happened to like what is it, Men of Honor or whatever that was?
Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
It had a terrible flop.
They had what was it, Warfighter or whatever back in 2012, and they just never recovered.
And then Battlefield was it Battlefield 2042? That shit the bed. And that is why gaming is crap. Lazy, low effort rebrandings, rushed out to have an annual release. Guys, we will play games for like 10 years if they're good and supported. I never need the Master Chief Collection to be updated outside of its functionality and quality of life stuff. I don't need those games to change. I want to play them as is. And if it takes 10 more years to get a decent Halo, well, I'll keep playing the old one until the new one gets good again. Like, don't rush these things because we all know we can all smell bullshit a mile away. So, Xavier to God, thank you. And yes, now I want to play Call of Duty Black Ops because that game was the shit.
So much,
especially that snow level where you went out. Or that's the first one with Nuketown, right?
I think so.
Black Ops,
because Nuketown was in Black Ops for sure, but I think that was the first game it was in.
Okay.
That was oh my god. I used to play it with Dan and Douche Canoe and a couple other people. We had the Xbox 360 was my jam. I love that fucking console. Like
it was a wonderful console when it worked, but it was a clusterfuck when that whole Red Ring of Death happened, man. I swear.
Hey, I had to wrap mine in a towel like 5 times.
Oh, that thing. Oh my god.
And then I came home for spring. No, I came home for the summer. My mom goes, "Did you want to get a new Xbox?" Just out of the blue. I'm like, "Yes, thank you." And so she bought me that like weird shaped one that was all shiny on the outside, like the standard model. Yeah. That never had technical issues. That thing was great.
Mr. Julian says Summit was the snow level in Black Ops 1.
Okay. I love that one. That was sweet. Xavier God also says, Dion, in your headcanon, when did Jedi Master and Council member Shaak Ti die? Is it against General Grievous, Star Killer Galen Merrick, or Anakin Skywalker?
I think mine is Grievous. I think that's the cooler one.
General Kenobi. You know why I changed remember when I went on my mini Jedi rant about not being cool? The reason I changed that to episode 3 when I said that is I thought when Obi-Wan used that blaster to shoot General Grievous in the heart and it caught fire and then exploded, I was like, that's cool. Like, I can't crap on that. That movie's not bad at all.
Listen, and the best part is where he recognized, he goes, so uncivilized.
So uncivilized, he tosses it aside.
Yeah. And even he's like, man, I had to use a blaster, but,
Revenge.
I was getting my ass whooped.
Revenge of the Sith is my third favorite Star Wars movie. It is. It's Empire Strikes Back, which is not only my favorite Star Wars, but my favorite movie. Empire Strikes Back, and then the original Star Wars, and then Revenge of the Sith, and then Return of the Jedi after that. And then the other prequels, and nothing else really matters. I don't care. I don't need anything else. I really don't. I've seen it and I don't. I've seen it and I reject it. I don't want it. I'm just, you can keep, not you, but you can keep your whatever it is you're trying to do with the power of I was just waiting for the power of the pyramid, like the Dunder Mifflin, or the what is it? Not Dunder Mifflin, the Saber, the pyramid from The Office. Here comes the power of the pyramid with the lesbian space witches and the triangle, right? Never mind.
Oh my God.
Let me see your Triforce, honey. I don't know.
Xavier to God also says RIP to the Xbox 360 store that closed permanently. I saw that. Loved the 360. Got it for my 18th birthday, even though I had to wrap it in a towel for it died. They sent me a new one. Then that one died, and then I did the towel trick a bunch. I got that shit down. I shouldn't talk about it like it's a badge of honor. It was a bad piece of technology.
Yeah, because you as a consumer shouldn't have to deal with that at all.
Nope.
And that was Microsoft's problem. So.
I'm more strict on if I get an action figure that doesn't have a back painted on it, I'm like, you cheaping out, Todd McFarlane. The Riddler has question marks on his whole suit, but for some reason they made an excuse for that. I'm like, yeah, Dion, that's the inner monologue I'll have when I'm filming those toy videos. I'm like, man, come on, Batman Forever is too good to not get a full costume. And they messed up the Batman suit too. It's blue, but the gloves and the boots are black. Remember in the movie, he's all one color.
Yeah.
Nope. His cowl, his boots, and his gloves, boots and gloves are all black. It does not look very good.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's bullshit.
Wait, hold on. When you say black, you mean like Dion or Wesley Snipes? How black we talking about?
Right.
We're talking about
actors on the planet.
I don't know. Wasn't
I'm
1979?
I'm sorry. It just came into my.
That was awesome.
We'll go Wesley Snipes.
Okay, fair enough. So midnight black. Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, this is an embodiment of it right
there
here.
You go.
Light reflects, but barely.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Digsby, it is mine as well. The original Star Wars, that's the one I'm like, you know what? Disney's crap and all this stuff, but I'll put that movie on and I'm like, yep, that's my movie. And I'm just cool. So, guys, we have a few more things to do tonight. Thank you to everybody who has supported the show. We appreciate all of you guys. Now, we're going to do one thing just to be trolls. We're going to check in on the Acolyte petition. Dion, would you like to guess what the number is?
Ooh. As in actual signatures, I'll say sub 100,000.
Under 100,000?
Yeah.
Nick, give me a number, sir.
I'm going to say under 70,000.
Under 60.
Well, the Acolyte petition is at 68,202. This bad boy is slowing down. Now, I'm not making Acolyte countdown to whatever videos. I made my videos on the story, on the show. And it's funny, people are talking about trying to get YouTube channels demonetized and this and that. It's we're critiquing the show on its lack of quality.
You know what?
If anybody out there is trying to say that WCBS is they're targeting that girl. Look at us. Who the hell are we saying this shit to? Please. And the funny thing is, none of those people that are getting targeted are us. We're not in that group. It's weird. We may have started the Fandom Menace, but we are our own thing.
So what's happening is that a show that is, I guess, for them didn't do well because they didn't watch it. And now that, it was also just bad all around because it was just, it's just not well produced. So because of that and it failing, they want to start blaming us and get us demonetized because we're critiquing a piece of entertainment.
Yep, that's how these people operate, Nick.
That makes no sense.
I saw
makes no
a
sense.
tweet today from Rewriting Ripley, which we haven't heard that name in a couple years since their hit piece that they put out. It was about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, and they were complaining today. Somebody complained to Team YouTube. It was Ripley that the videos were a personal attack, and now you're getting all these weirdos retweeting it that they're all it's hate speech and it's violence. And it's like, look, first of all, I didn't watch any of this. The only footage I've seen of this show is I've seen trailers and I've seen your videos you did on it and such. That's what I know of the show. It didn't sound interesting when I was still covering pop culture. This, because they've been talking about this show for how many years now, since they announced it, and it finally came to fruition. And it's just like, you made a bad show. Just take your L and walk away. And please, your lead actress released a diss track. She really that was as bad as Nick Cannon's. I mean, come on, like.
Oh, come on, man. Nick Cannon is hilarious.
Look, the only thing I give him props for is he nailed Mariah Carey. But
thank you.
I mean, but Jesus, dude, like this show is it's just everything about it is cringe. It's just a bad show. You had somebody who knew just fuck all about Star Wars, and Leslie Headland just like, I'm such a big fan. Oh, what do you like about Star Wars? I like it all. So you know nothing. You're a tourist. This is why gatekeeping franchises is actually important, because you keep out these shitty tourists that are like, oh, I love this. And they come in and then they're like, but I want it to be this and that. And you're like, well, that's not what it is. And then they're like, you're a bigot, get out. And it's like, wait, like you said you like the franchise. So, I just, that's my rant on that. But no, this is just a garbage show that failed. There's no nefarious. Like, I love how they still, how many years now they've been using review bombing? What, 8-10 years now? They've been Pepperidge Farm remembers, I mean, it was review bomber and incel. Like, come on, like nobody's buying what you're selling anymore, except the people that sit around and circle jerk to this and go like, yeah, there's incels and they're all racist and bigots and oh my God, like, no, you made a bad
what's
show.
funny? Those people were at Dragon Con.
I'm sure they were.
They found each other. Like,
they found each other
where they talk like this.
They have like innate like intuitiveness to when they're near each other. It's just the smell of like stale urine and cat piss. They're just drawn to each other.
Dude, I swear to God, every morning when we were gonna go to Dragon Con, me and Jeff like showered, put on deodorant, and put on cologne just to make sure we weren't those guys. Like, we made that a point every day of like deodorant and cologne just to make sure we weren't them.
When shirt was a polo, like,
when my wife came
to con,
the first time my wife came to Horror Hound with me, I warned her. I said, "Hun, I'm like, you're gonna have to prepare yourself physically, emotionally for this." I said, a lot of these folks aren't the best with personal hygiene. And by that, I mean the convention goers. I'm like, you're going to smell some things today and it's going to stick with you for a while. And yeah, she was like, oh my God. She goes, what the actual? I'm like, I know. You get immune to it after a while. No, you don't. It never goes away. It's like the smelly car in Seinfeld. It's like, it just sticks.
It's like walking down the sidewalk in New York. That's what it is. It's just like a new smell every 3 feet. But also, like, if I swear to God, if these people would stop complaining and realize like these companies run on money, and if you give them that money and that like time and then watch time, they'll make more of the show that you get hard over. But that requires you to
10 times over.
Yeah, but that requires you to actually do something. Because it's just hilarious that like I guess we as like long-time fans of this stuff get it, but for some reason I guess the other people who are get mad when these things fail and call us incels and things like that just don't understand that aspect of it. It's just like, they need to make more of this show. It's like, well, if you actually like got your change out of your car together and got 1 month of Disney Plus, maybe would have made a difference. But you didn't. You chose not to, and that's why
You
it failed.
chose poorly.
Yeah, it didn't have the watch hours. It didn't have the watch time. Yeah, of course it was like, I think the first episode had a decent amount of people watch it, but then it immediately fell off in the second episode. Like the numbers are all there. They're everywhere.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, you guys in the High Council talked the numbers every single Tuesday, watching it and talking about everything. It was great. There was evidence there for all of it, and if people had, and it's I always love how it happens after the fact. After the fact, it happens. It's never like, oh, we need to rally together and like get in some Facebook group or some Twitch thing or whatever, or some TikTok thing gets together and like, oh, we need to get the show going to another season. No, you don't do any of that shit. You'll wait till afterwards to make a shitty fucking petition like on change.org and think that'll make differences. It's not going to.
They marketed it towards such a niche audience, though. That's the thing. And that's like, you see that to because I cover wrestling, and it's like you market a certain wrestling company that shall remain nameless, markets towards a niche audience that is not going to bring the numbers that you think it is. And they're doing the same thing with Star Wars. And that audience doesn't spend the money. They sit on Twitter because it's free to kvetch on Twitter all day. But, to go out and support this would, you have to get Disney Plus, or, you have to go to the theater when they release movies. That costs money, Nick, and these people aren't about money because bitching online is free.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we're supportive fans because we've put the money into all the stuff we love. We buy the stuff. We have boxes of what we love. We have tens of thousands of dollars into all of it. Even I would say some $100,000 into what they love, and it's just like that's how we support what we love. We put money into it. We buy it. We keep it on our shelves. We dust it off. We show everybody
every piece of Spawn merchandise on the planet. That's how much money he's invested. He has folks. Dion got one of those little storage units that's like the shipping crate. It's just full of Spawn comic books. He kind of just goes there and hangs out and reads his Spawn collection.
He just has a pile of it and with his flashlight, just reading the comic.
Buddy, you're living your best life. You got a beautiful family. You got every piece of Spawn merchandise ever. You still try to convince me the Super Nintendo game is good. It's not. You can't lie to me.
Just pass me, Todd.
Did you see Todd McFarlane's got his own action figure out now?
That is so hilarious.
Do you want that? I'll buy it for you if you'll display it in your home.
I feel like you just have to have something because it's just so silly. It's just so silly. Who wants?
I wonder how many of those he has in his house, like just like on every surface of his house, like just so he can look at himself all the time.
He does. Todd McFarlane has at least one jumbo self-portrait.
Yeah. No. He's got two. One above his fireplace and one in the bathroom so he can look at himself while he takes a shit. Or sorry, a dump.
Do you think he listens to Careless Whisper as he looks at the picture of himself on the wall?
Yes.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yes.
All right, I thought so too. I just didn't want to say it.
And then he just plays clips of John Leguizamo as Violator.
That was art. That was art.
Oh my god.
They just didn't understand it.
I don't know. John Leguizamo needs to he's always been weird like that, but he needs to really calm down. He really.
The Pest is the worst movie ever made, so he needs to chill.
Right.
Oh god.
Is it the worst?
It's up reminiscent and all that. He's old man Leguizamo now.
Well, I also love how he bitches about Latino representation, but it's like, man, you have enough money to make your own studio and make your own movies. Like, go do it. Go do it.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I never really thought there was underrepresentation of Latino people in movies or shows because I grew up watching movies and shows with Latino people in it.
Yep.
They had sitcoms and movies and TV specials. Like, I get it. He may be, banished or he may not be cool, but like George Lopez show was huge. I was in grade school watching that show.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was funny. Like, what's his face? Minded Mencia. That was pretty funny back in the day. That dude was a big deal. I mean, yeah, he stole jokes, and that's neither here nor there. But my point is, I don't like when we talk about this stuff because it already happened.
It did. But I don't know. John Leguizamo, Danny Trejo, and some other people need to get together and make their own little studio and just tell those stories.
Robert Rodriguez has it. He got his own.
All right.
Yeah, he's got his own TV network too. The dude has got it all.
Oh my God.
That's
yeah,
not
exactly. But God forbid, there's representation for those, for the happening. But whatever.
Man,
It's people who have a little bit of fame and have their 15 minutes and will talk shit because they can. Same thing happened with Apu from Simpsons.
Yep.
Some Indian guy who got in the fucking writers' room of SNL got a comedy special and was like, "Oh, Apu's racist." It's like, go fuck yourself. Go absolutely fuck yourself.
The Simpsons should not have acquiesced.
No, like that character, like what was wrong with him? He worked, he supported his family. Like, I mean, they always painted that character in a positive light. Like, honestly, if you really look back at it, that's a pretty good character study because they never portrayed him negatively. Like, really.
No.
There were
Apu
people
was
around him that were morons, but Apu was always like a reasonable, rational character who existed in this like, wacky environment, but he was always the normal one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the same thing happened with Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima. So.
Yeah. It's like, that we've all had that discussion. I still got a cereal or the syrup bottle in Aunt Jemima. I just keep refilling it. I'm like, there. I'll just keep refilling it. Let's get the other syrup.
Times they are changing.
I wish you wouldn't have brought up Apu because now I'm looking at pictures of him and I miss him. I loved The Simpsons back in the day.
Right?
Yeah. I know there's a comedian, an Indian comedian named Akash Singh, and he does a whole thing about the positivity of Apu and why he shouldn't have left. And it's fucking hilarious. You guys should go check it out. It's really funny.
The power of
Hey,
Gosh,
look,
that's a funny dude. I like that guy.
Apu had his Gumar. Look, he was a busy guy. He was with his wife every Saturday, Friday nights for the girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with it. Apu did nothing wrong.
Oh man.
Any problem can be solved with a light dose of misogyny. It's fine.
You're not wrong.
A light dose of misogyny.
Now, gentlemen, how would you guys feel about playing a game? We have a modified version of Explain the Film Plot Badly. By modified, I have a visual element where instead of me reading the bad film plot, I can show you an image that the prompt, which was fed into AI, resulted in. So you'll have to guess what the movie is based on the image. But now the game is worth points. If you go for the text prompt, it's worth a point. But the other one is worth 2. But if you get it wrong, you can get negative points from it. So it's a bigger gamble.
Okay,
so,
thanks.
Yeah, I think you should go for the text or the the picture prompt, because there are no points. The points are irrelevant. So just go for the picture prompt.
Okay, we'll go for the picture one. We'll go for the picture one.
All right. So you guys ready for Explain a Film Plot Badly Picture Edition? Now, folks, you can play at home, and I hope you do, because, it's going to be a hell of a time. So
hold on. I love how there's a fight for Apu in our chat right now.
Right? Apu did nothing wrong.
That's funny as shit. I love our audience.
Okay. So what is this film?
Oh, okay. You're okay. Wow, you can't even read the words. Is that?
It
Superman
says,
Returns.
That's your guess of Superman Returns. Nick, the text, if you want to know, says Space Warriors on Earth craps a room on Aaron. Ain't she inly Subarian family wrecked alien Rompfeli. The Rix is his spaceship. I don't know. But here's the part. Help his dad grow a spine. I don't know what that means.
Oh my god. So it's
I'm so confused right now. At first I was like, is this in German? Like, is there part? Is this?
No, it's just AI trying to make letters and it can't. It can't. It can read them sometimes.
I don't know why it put the text in every video or every picture prompt, because I just wanted it to be this picture.
Love it.
So Dion guessed Superman Returns. Nick, what was your guess?
Superman, just Superman.
And then Pete, yours was
Superman.
The correct answer is, let's see if the chat got it. Cloud Atlas says Clone Geek. No, you don't have to read it. Just look at the picture. Ignore the text, folks. Cowboys versus Aliens. No, the correct answer is Suburban Commando starring Hulk Hogan. The text prompt reads: a space warrior crashes on Earth, rents a room from a family, fights off alien bounty hunters, and helps the dad grow a spine, all while trying to fix his spaceship.
I was frozen today. Sorry.
There you go.
That's the only line I know.
That?
That's the only line I know.
I saw that movie once as a kid.
Yeah, I think that was the peak of Hulk Hogan's like movies and acting ability, because he did a movie with Christopher Lloyd. Like, that was the peak of it. It just that was all. That was as far as you could go.
Okay, guys. Round 2 of the picture round. You guys ready?
Sure.
There is no text in this one, so don't worry. You're not gonna have a stroke looking at it.
What the fuck?
What the why does the Grim Reaper have a fucking automatic?
Is it Godfather? Is it Godfather?
All right, Nick guessed Godfather.
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta, says Dion.
Final Destination. Death's over there going like, I'm not playing with no stupid logs and shit this time. He's just got an automatic. Just,
I will straight shoot you. You're supposed to die today.
Death. How do you kill so many innocent women and children? The trick is you don't lead him as much.
Oh my god.
You guys ready for the answer?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the chat guessed Falling Down, My Dinner with Andre, The Italian Job, The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Purge, Abraxas. The correct answer is To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh my god! The prompt.
Oh my god!
The prompt that was fed into the machine was: a lawyer teaches his kids life lessons by defending a man in court while a mysterious neighbor creeps around and everyone in town is kind of racist.
First of all, kind of. Come on, Jeff.
Yeah, I thought
we've all seen that movie and read that book. Okay.
At first, I thought the guy at the table was supposed to be Harold Ramis. I'm like, is that Egon?
No.
You know, that's fantastic. It's Atticus Finch. It's Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck.
Oh man.
All right. So here's a
bird lawyer.
Don't worry about the text here, everybody. I couldn't help it. Just guess.
Let's see.
Star Wars.
Oh
no, Last Starfighter.
Is this Spaceballs?
You got Spaceballs? Okay.
Spaceballs.
Oh my god. Yeah, I got Star Wars, I guess. I don't.
The correct answer is Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Oh my god.
Here was the prompt that was fed into the machine. An old dude with a grudge hijacks a spaceship to get revenge on his bald nemesis, while a lot of people quote Shakespeare and make major decisions involving radiation.
Okay. Okay. I can. Okay.
His bald nemesis. Do you know the definition of nemesis?
All right. Here's the next one. No text this time. Don't worry.
Scream. It's Scream.
Yeah, definitely Scream.
Scream.
All right. So, Galactic Star Boozer says Schindler's List. No, it is not.
God damn. Oy vey. Look, that's it. I got a space laser for you. Look at the guy's pickaxe. It's got a lamp on it.
It does have a lamp on it.
That's kind of
my
fun.
buddy Valentine.
I'm like, am I seeing things? I'm like, there's no way I'm seeing things with these, but that's a fucking lamp on there.
Yeah,
So-
and the other guy's arm goes through the other guy's arm behind him.
Holy shit, he's got a baby arm. He's like Paul Orndorff.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys want the AI generated multiple versions of these, if I'll show you the B-roll if you want after we finish the game.
Oh, definitely.
All right. It's pretty good. All right. So everybody's guessing Scream all the way. Well, I'm sorry, but the correct answer is Halloween. Here's the prompt that was fed into the machine. A guy walks really slowly, but somehow keeps up while a babysitter fights him off with household objects.
I mean,
want to
not
know.
wrong.
I want a pickaxe lamp. Like, did they sell those only to prospectors? Because
No, I
like, I'm
think
not a
I think
prospector,
I
but-
think you can get them made on Etsy. Like somebody will do that. for you.
Yeah, like I want a pickaxe lamp now because like it's nice to light up the corner of a room or kill Michael Myers or
There you go.
Right. The best
It's-
use for it.
it's a multifaceted object to have around the house. It's like a Swiss Army knife, if you will, baby, if you will, daddy. It's like a Swiss Army knife, baby. What?
Starship Troopers.
All right, Nick guessed Starship
Ooh.
Troopers. Dion.
Power Rangers.
All right.
A Bug's
Junior
Life?
Soprano? A Bug's Life.
What are you talking about, huh? Forget
You know
about it.
what? Enrique got it. It's Beetlejuice.
Oh shit!
Here's the
Nice.
prompt. A couple hires an exterminator, but he mostly just causes chaos and tries to marry a teenager.
I mean,
Oh my god.
wordy.
Starring Jeffrey Jones. Never mind.
Yeah. Don't say the J word. Arachnophobia. It did look a lot like that. So I like to explain a film plot badly, the visual edition. I think that's how we're going to do it moving forward. You guys agree?
Yeah,
That's
that's
fun.
that's great.
I like
That's funny
that.
as shit. Yeah, that's funny as shit, man. I like that.
All right. That way the chat can play at home. We don't have to sit and have long, weird pauses. And we'll Enrique is the winner of tonight's game because he is the first person to guess Beetlejuice. Let me make sure that was him. Yes, Enrique is the winner. So, folks, send your love, your praise, your adoration to Enrique in the chat, who's been a member forever and a very good friend. So thank you, Enrique. Thanks for playing tonight, everyone. It was a lot of fun. There we go, Enrique. Revel in it. Enjoy, my friend. You earned this victory. That was far more elaborate than that game warranted, but hey, that's why we're world class. So,
Oh no, that was funny as shit because like those images were like you couldn't tell sometimes like what was going on.
I guess that's Alec Baldwin in the white shirt. Yes, it was. Let's see. Etep, before we go, my friend,
Yeah.
tell us the biggest story in wrestling this week.
All right. Probably what's been dominating the conversation would be, I would say, Odyssey Jones firing from WWE, which he had been on the main roster for 462 days before he got called up in early August. They put him right into the New Day storyline, kind of like replacement surrogate Big E, and it drove a wedge between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston over Kofi kind of welcoming him and Xavier pushing back. And then they're feuding with the Final Testament, which is basically a jobber stable, which blows my mind because they have Paul Ellering and Never Let Him Speak, who is one of the manager of the greatest tag team ever, the Road Warriors. But no, so you've got that, and he got fired and removed from the roster. Like, I mean, in the middle of this push, and they had him come out looking extremely strong, and he's gone all of a sudden, fired, scrubbed from the website, the roster page, allegations of domestic violence. So not even any arrest or no reports of that yet. No details have really been released, but he's been, fired for this. And it's like that WWE they had to do it though. With everything they went through with McMahon and the Janelle Grant case, which I looked at in depth, is they have to be proactive about this. You can't have, even now, this is my thing. And I did a members video about this yesterday. And I said, look, I'm not saying he did anything. All I'm saying is they're not even giving the benefit of the doubt, because they are acting like shit where they're on their toes now because of the McMahon stuff. That Spectre is still over there, even though he's not involved with them anymore. It kind of is because of the lawsuit, because, with Grant, even though he's representing himself, but he's got his own representation. He's not a part of WWE anymore, but I know Triple H is sweating bullets at some point because I don't give a shit. You can say what you want about him, and I got my own thoughts about his corporate 50-50 booking bullshit he's doing now. But yeah, this Odyssey Jones thing, other than that, you've got Bret Hart set to appear on the season premiere of Raw this coming Monday, which is USA week, because SmackDown moves over to USA next week.
Nice.
And they'll be on USA with Raw through the duration of the year, and then Raw moves to Netflix on January 6th. Yesterday was 29 years since the debut of Monday Nitro. So that was a nice little piece of nostalgia there. Let's see what else. The all in numbers, the final attendance for that.
Let's hear them.
So they reported over 50,000. The total was 46,476. Last year, it was 72,265. That is a loss of 25,789 people. Dynamite last night drew it was between 660 and 690,000 for a 0.19. But you did get Hangman Adam Page burning down Swerve Strickland's house, his childhood home, because they're still in that blood feud, which I'm sorry, you're wasting Swerve Strickland in a feud with a peg warmer that looks like a cowboy from Brokeback Mountain. Adam Page is the most vanilla-paced, generic worker, and Swerve is so far above him in every conceivable metric. And the fact that they took the title off him at All In for Bryan Danielson is a slap in the face, and just an exclamation point on what was an underwhelming and pretty much embarrassing first world title run for him, when he deserves so much better in the booking. And that's like, I get that all the time, is you're just you're just a Fed drone. I'm like, no. I watch a lot of AEW, more so than I care to admit. And I watched Swerve's whole title reign, and it was the same way as MJF. They handled it poorly. They botched it. They made him look stupid. They booked him completely wrong. Every match he had, he fucking shined, because Swerve's a goddamn star, and I'm glad he got his bag. He deserved it. He deserves every dime they're paying him. But they didn't do him any favors with booking, and it's a shame. But yeah, AEW, their attendance is down, their ratings are down. And then they've got another pay-per-view Saturday. They got All Out Saturday, which I'm not. It's my anniversary. I'm not watching. I'm gonna be like, it's my anniversary. I'm not watching.
I was thinking like, hey, I'll text Phil and see what's up, and then I'm like, it's not worth it.
No,
like it's Sunday is the Bengal opener. I'm gonna go watch football and be a.
That's it. I got the Lions. We got the Lions Sunday night, Dion. We got the Lions Sunday night, baby.
Who they playing?
We got the Rams. We got the Rams Sunday.
Come on, Detroit.
Right.
That's
right.
Let's go. We're ready. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I will say, I think I agree with everything you're saying up until the end. I agree that AEW has a talent. they
They have the
just,
best.
you know,
They have the
as
best
we've said,
roster in wrestling right
they
now.
have the
They have
roster.
They have the
yeah,
best talent in wrestling right now. It's poorly used.
agreed. It is very poorly booked right now. The only other thing I would say is for sure I agree that Swerve is on, you know, as MJF said going into All In, you know, Swerve is on God mode right now. I'm high on Swerve too, dude. I'm 100% with you on
brother.
that. I think Swerve is a fucking superstar.
Yep.
I will say I disagree. I'm glad that they put the belt on Bryan Danielson. They just don't have they don't know how to make it interesting. And as much as I agree with the booking problem, I ain't gonna lie. I'm excited to see what Swerve and Hangman Page. I think the problem is they're going back to the well because things aren't doing well, as opposed to, you know, save Swerve and Hangman for bigger moments. But you know, because of course Tony doesn't know how to book anything.
No,
you know, they're going back early. So, but yeah, they just gotta get their heads out of their asses, man. And I probably will buy the pay-per-view Saturday.
I might watch a replay on Sunday before football. If Draven gets it, I'll watch it with him.
Well, I have Triller. I have Triller, so I'll watch the replay as it comes on. But like live, I'm trying to, you know, I'm still in the boat, you know, because you know All In was pretty good. It's like, hey, do I want to spend, you know? So I'm not judging anyone for being hesitant because it's just they got the talent, they got a lot of good things going on right now, but they just gotta do better.
You look at just, and I know cable's a dying medium, but as much as and not every AEW fan, I'm talking about the cultists, the tribalist fans on both sides of the worst part of wrestling, but the ones that are like the ratings don't matter. I'm like, well, they matter to a network who's trying to sign them to a deal. That's who they matter to. These people, that's what they don't understand. They're so hooked on just wanting good matches. They don't understand. That's the problem with these weird marks. They don't understand that it's a business first and foremost. And a company like Warner Brothers Discovery that's getting ready to throw a bag at Tony Khan, they have to know that there's going to be a return on investment. And that's why I look at it like this. From a former promoter standpoint, what you do is you need to admit you're going to have to hold a big L. You're going to have to, I would get rid of Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor at this point it's nothing. I'm sorry. It's not Ring of Honor from 2005 or 2010. This is Tony Khan's Ring of Honor. Keep the title alive because they're not booking Mark Briscoe with that anyway. It's just, they're not doing him any favors. Get rid of Ring of Honor, get rid of Rampage. You take your roster. You've got a myriad of some of the best talent from around the world. You've got people that can cut promos. You got people that can just put on Dave Meltzer's going to blow ectoplasm all over his computer screen because it's, you know, it's a flippy-do match. And that has a place on the card. The problem is you have all these talented ex-workers backstage working as agents, and you don't allow them to partaketh in this process. And Tony is playing, like Cornette says, and I hate to quote Jim Cornette, but he's playing with his action figures. And it's the same thing with like, oh my God, Ricochet. I'm like, yeah, Ricochet is a talented motherfucker, but he's a mid-card guy. He's not going to move the needle. Yeah, he might pop a rating one, but his first match, he's out there botching spots with Kyle Fletcher. You know, and Fletcher's one of your top guys as far as like talent goes. Ricochet,
that was disappointing.
I'm like, it fell flat. And I'm like, there's like, oh, I don't want anything bad to happen to Ricochet. I want him to be successful. But it's like, if you want this guy to be above the mid card, he's got to have somebody talk for him because he can't cut a promo. So you need to put him with a group or get him a manager that can be a mouthpiece to help accentuate what he can do. And that is he can go out and do a bunch of flips and, you know, and that shit. And like I said, if it's got his place on the card, you book it right. Yeah, it'll get over, but him by himself, he's not going to move the needle. It's like Okada. You threw a bag at Okada. You got a broke down fucking shell of his former self who can barely fucking move in the ring now. The funniest thing he does is imitate Mercedes Draws No Monet's fucking fruity little dance and say, bitch. That's the funniest, you know, and it's like, what do you know, Yeah, I can go on about this, and then I'll sit there. And like I said, if anybody wants to say that I'm just bagging on AEW, go watch my Raw review from last week and watch me shit all over Raw, because I did, like, hardcore.
I mean, listen, I definitely would disagree. I think Okada's doing great right now. I mean, he's definitely trying. If anything, he's trying to acclimate himself to that American style, you know. And even that being said, you know, I think he's, you know, the him being the asshole heel thing, I think is working. And, you know, and to all that other stuff, for sure, you're just not. I would disagree on getting rid of Ring of Honor. I think Ring of Honor should be your
use it like NXT then. Use it like
NXT. Exactly.
Ring of Honor, if you're going to do it, use it as your proving ground. Have them in a stationary location.
Right, and you know, and it's not working right now because you know they're, you know, Tony's trying to do this thing where Ring of Honor's on the same level as AEW, but not really. Yep. And we got Briscoe's the champion, but you know, I think you keep Ring of Honor, you get rid of Rampage, you keep Collision, and you
get rid of Rampage,
and you get rid of quarter of your titles. You have your standard ass titles. They got way too many titles. Way too many titles. You know, and
we don't need a trios match. We don't need a trios match every 2 matches.
I'd argue you keep the trios, but that's the only other title that you have outside of your majors. You know, you want to have a ROH world title, have it. You have your Irish women's title, have it. Your tag team title, but the fuck it, you know, the and I understand you doing cross promotion with IDPW. I love that. I do. But we don't need to see their champions on TV all the time.
No. And
you have your champions and have rivalries that aren't that they're building that stuff. You know, say what you want about, you know, and listen, after listening to your view, Raw, you know, Raw is, or WWE's fallen into that post-summer draw.
They're just flat.
They're just flat right now, you know, but you know, NXT is you know, people give, you know, NXT is popping because it's like, hey, they're just going out there and wrestling. And also the shit in between the matches is important. And AEW's doing too much. They have too much.
Yep. And it's not focused enough, you know. You had one of their best angles going into All In was Mariah May and Toni Storm. And that's a money angle. And like I've said this, and I'll die on this hill, there's very few women in professional wrestling that are a legitimate, not like, oh, I like her, she's hot. A legitimate, people are gonna pay to see her. And Toni Storm for Tony Khan's company is one of those women that people will pay to see her because she has a gimmick, she can work. She's beautiful. She's amazing on the microphone. She's expressive. Any gimmick that she's in, she is 100% just ensconced, if you will, baby, in that gimmick, you know. And the timeless thing was that was a money angle. Chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe. I mean, that shit was funny. It was funny awesome as hell. It was. And
listen, and I agree. I think she's the best. I think the AEW's women's champion is the best women's champion on the planet right now. And
agreed.
You know, they just got to stop. Yeah, just got to get it together. Just tighten the ship, man. Tighten the ship, because numbers are clearly going down.
Bro, what did they do to Wardlow? Like, what the hell happened to him? He's gone. Like they've done. They have, and I said this, and I've done videos on this. They've got a big man problem. You need to stop putting 108, like Big Bill. Hook should not be hitting T-bone exploding suplexes on Big Bill. That shouldn't happen. Like you use your, and this is Tony Khan in this booking, and you can see the projection because he was a skinny little guy who got picked on, and you can tell he doesn't like the big alpha male types. So like, look at, there's no reason Brian Cage jobs to Darby Allin or Orange Cassidy. Like there's no reason Big Bill wrestles Orange Cassidy on Dynamite one week and never gets any offense, and Orange Cassidy dominates the match. And the next week, Orange Cassidy wrestles Penta and is in peril the entire match, and Penta weighs 170 pounds and is 5'9". Fuck off with that. Like, that's terrible booking. And that's the problem is there's no It's nonsensical. The suspension of when I have a guy doing 6 backflips, runs the ropes 4 times, walks along the top, and I have to stand there and sell waiting for him, I'm gonna do a Samoa Joe and I'm a walk off. You can go ahead and do your shit, and I'm gonna no sell it and just walk away, because that is stupid and that ruins. The suspension of disbelief is what makes wrestling interesting. That and your promos and your angles. You have to have a character. Anybody can just be like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna be a badass. Yeah, cool. There's a million guys like that. What do you bring to the table that's gonna draw me money? Why do I want you on my show? I don't give a shit if you can go in the ring. I've got a million guys that can do that. Put asses in the seats. You know what I mean? That's the problem, is they don't have a. I don't know why, because I know there's people in that company that can cut promos. It's like Ricky Starks. What are you doing with that guy? That guy's a fucking star. That guy is a star, and you're letting him sit there. Why? Because he's friends with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. So you're pissy about it. So now he's going to go to WWE. He's going to show up in NXT. He's going to show out. He's going to end up on the main roster, and he's going to be a fucking star. And you're going to be like sitting there going like, all the AEW, fuck Ricky Starks, all the cultists, not the fans, the cultists, and it's like you had him and they did nothing with him and they let him languish because Matt and Nikki are pulling in there in Tony's ear, and you got Jack Perry. That's the only thing I feel bad for Okada, is if he was paired with an actual stable of heels that was intimidating, it would be better for him. But he's with a bunch of little Peckerwoods who look like cosplay. They look like cosplay wrestlers. I'm not going to say exactly what I call them, but they look like cosplay wrestlers. I'll say that. I'm done. I'll stop ranting because I can. Yeah, I'll stop.
Thank you, Pete, for the wrestling report. And Dion, I hope you enjoy your pay-per-view this weekend.
I know. I want to hear what you say.
We have a few more super chats and then 2 more things to address, but everybody's been asking about this Burbs reboot. So let's talk about this together, because this sounds pointless, like most things. Keke Palmer is set to star and executive produce The Burbs, a contemporary series adaptation of the 1989 movie of the same name, starring Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher. Peacock has given the project a straight-to-series order. And here's the description, if you will. Set in the present-day suburbia, The Burbs follows a young couple with Palmer playing the wife, returning to the husband's childhood home. Their world is upended when a new neighbor moves in next door, bringing secrets to the cul-de-sac to light, and new deadly threats shatter the illusion of their quiet little neighborhood. It's going to be filmed at the backlot of Universal Hollywood Studios, which is where they shot the original movie. Seth MacFarlane is an executive producer, along with some people you don't care about. So, like I said, this is kind of pointless. Like a Burbs TV show. Who asked for this?
There's no more story to tell.
Well, it's kind of like, it's also kind of like, I know they're doing a what is it? A Rosemary's Baby prequel TV show as well. It's like, why? Nobody asked for this.
But
Nobody
here's the thing,
it.
that at least has some kind of story built in. The Burbs is that one movie. There's no lore.
Yeah. No,
they move in. They're creepy. They thwart them. That's it.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with the race swap or whatever they're doing. It has nothing to do with that. This is just an ill-conceived idea. This is bad.
Absolutely.
I don't care. I don't care what cast you put in this. I don't need it. Nobody needs it. That movie is a cult classic. It's self-contained, like you said, Jeff. That's one story, no lore, no prequels, sequel, requels, and reimaginings necessary. It just exists as is. It's much like Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. That did
which they remade recently as well.
Yeah. This is just another. It's like make up a new movie. Why don't you make? It's not. You can copy their homework and just rubber stamp it another name. You know, a rose by any other name is still a rose. So you could do something along those lines. This is just creatively bankrupt. It's stupid. It's just a stupid concept.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's because I mean, The Burbs was it was a fun movie, but you know they're gonna go through the entire movie. They're gonna do the same thing they did with Lovecraft Country, where like they went through the entire book. They're gonna go through the entire movie in the first season, and like they're gonna be like, well, what the hell do we do if we get a season 2? Well, I mean, good luck with that. First of all,
More neighbors.
Yeah, and then what? Okay, so then let's say they do a season 2 and they have like another set of neighbors that are murderous or cannibalistic or whatever the heck it is. You can't do that for the third season because like it's just going to be repetitive. So then if you change it up, people aren't going to watch, and then you're going to have a problem. Like it's a whole like thing that has to happen with this. Like there's no way this show works. Like this reminds me of that movie. What is it? The Santa Clarita Diet or whatever. The one that Drew Barrymore was on. Like it's the same thing. It's like you can't do like they went too soft in the suburbs in that one, but this one you're trying to make it about this movie that was really good in the 80s, but like it's just I don't know. It's just one of these things. Like when these things come out and it's official because it's on Variety, you know that like Hollywood is an incredibly like just story bankrupt because they have no more original ideas. Like it's just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the Twilight Zone episode where you find out that the town's actually run by a computer. It's like Hollywood's just run by a computer and they're forcing people. Like the numbers say that people want the burbs. We're making the burbs.
I think more what it is probably like the copyright lapsed and they bought it and then it's like, oh, okay, this is some like the people who like this are still alive and have money to spend, so they're gonna watch this because it says the burbs. That's their mentality because it's like it's somewhat of a familiar IP, not really, but it's a recognizable name and that's it. And then we're gonna make it into a show and hopefully we get people to watch for hours. Like good luck.
I won't ever because it's a dumb concept. Oh, yeah. Also, guys, I was perusing this and I came across something interesting. Today, I learned that Richard Pryor's off-screen drug issues cost both him and Gene Wilder a major success. They were originally set to star as the leads in Trading Places. Could you imagine how different that movie would have been?
Oh my God.
Holy
it's just another world to live in, but damn.
That is a wild timeline right there.
Yep.
I just thought that was a fun little factoid to close out our show. Now we got some super chats to read. John Thomas, thank you again, my friend. Did y'all see the trailer for the McMahon documentary?
I haven't seen it yet.
No
trailer, no. But I saw the announcement because it's the Netflix one is the 25th.
Yep. Yes,
I saw an image that said, "Oh, they're gonna paint me as the bad guy," and I'm like,
"You are the bad guy."
There's that you can use any. Helen Keller could paint that, and it'd be right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's what did he expect? He was going to be the hero?
I guess. I mean, he's used to
man. Absolutely, that's what he expected.
That's
damn it. All I did was poop acted out.
I mean, that's
I just did what everybody else would do.
Yeah,
no, Vince. Not everybody would do that, my friend.
Yeah, you guys have told me McMahon stories for forever. I shouldn't be surprised that at like almost 80, he's just like more and more senile. So
I'm not surprised. That's the problem.
No.
John, I'll check that out when we go off air. Rebels08 says, "I'll take a new Buffalo Jeff button, please." Hey, Nick, remember that movie we watched that had the Buffalo Jeff button in it?
Yeah,
that was creepy, wasn't it?
Yeah, what was it? Devil May Care?
Yeah, that one was terrible, right?
That was terrible. Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah.
Let's see. You wanted the new Buffalo Jeff button, and here it is.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
me, your old pal Buffalo Jeff.
He's watching you, Dion. Always. Xavier to God says, "To me, WWE should have 2 world titles, 2 mid-card titles, 1 tag team title, 1 women's main event title, and 1 women's mid-card title." How many more do they have now than that breakdown?
It's got the women's tag team, and then
you got the Intercontinental, the U.S. Heavyweight. You've got the what else? I'm trying to think. They don't have trios titles or anything.
Thank God.
They got 2 sets of tag team titles. You got Raw and SmackDown, which is stupid. They to me, I would cut it down to 1 world title, and then that champion has to go between brands. You know, it's the same way. Like each, you have 1 set of titles, and then those champions have to go between brands. That's kind of how I think it should work. But
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just a small
I
town.
mean, 2 I think is perfect. You got your 2 shows. Then you got shit for champion versus champion. So I think 2 world titles is perfect. I think that's perfect.
I can see an argument for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you can have one dude. Especially in a perfect world, you can have your babyface champ and your heel champ. Especially if you have a heel champ who is white hot like Gunther. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
I get
Yeah.
wanting a Cody Rhodes, but Gunther being champion is important right now. So give me. I think that's a perfect example of why 2 works.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to put some of those on screen right there for everybody. Folks, another fun night here on WCBS. Thank you for joining us. Guys, I had a blast. I really enjoyed our new Explain a Film Plot Badly, and I'm looking forward to hearing what people have to think about or say about Beetlejuice as they go see it. Anything else anybody wants to say before we put this baby to bed?
Free yayo.
There you go.
Check me out at Wrestling with Horror, and I'll be back over here October 10th, according to my notes. So I will see you guys then.
I guess we'll see him then. That's cool.
Until then, I'm booked in advance.
Yeah. I'll be on the side scrollers on the 27th, so check me out there. But I'll tell you again before the show. So, folks, from all of us here at WCBS, thank you for watching. Be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
.com.
Excuse me. I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay.